Okay, let's get started. Nope, I have to launch Skyrim. Wait, help. I'm gonna go over an old debate and tear it apart. Absolutely rip myself to pieces while playing Skyrim to soothe me. And also controlling this is gonna be a little bit funky, so bear with me. Alright, let's swap it over. Hello. Today we'll be doing Skyrim and debate. My light broke. It fell off the wall. It will be back on the wall at some point, but it is not right now because that is too much work. So instead we dwell in darkness. But I'll watch an old debate of mine. This is one that, for the record, I'll make mention of it several times throughout about not feeling well and needing to leave. I had a pretty bad tooth infection, and I had some pretty bad I always get bad side effects from vaccines, and I was having some pretty bad side effects from a tetanus shot that I had just gotten because I gashed my leg moving a couch into our house. And because of that, I'm still quite proud of my ability to deliver my arguments. I did do prep for this debate. I did some research on trans healthcare, trans sports stuff. My position is somewhat shifted since I did this debate. And I'll make note of that when we sort of get into it, but I'm more proud of myself for my ability to sort of persevere, because immediately following this debate, I ran upstairs and threw up into my toilet. So, but I don't think, I watched it a few times. I don't think I show it, but who knows? But let's go with the, let's get the goated intro here.
Somebody said to me the other day, "You're the most famous person in the world by far." I said, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." They said, "Yes, you are." I said, "No."
Speak it,
Don. Who's more
Don.
famous? I said, "Jesus Christ."
Yeah, he and I have to definitely debate. That's what I love.
So bad. But I'm never changing it.
Why did I think Lefty? I don't know. Lefty, I thought you were a woman for some reason. The whole time.
Damn, I wish, right?
I don't know why
you
he
were like
thought that.
Seeing you, I'm like, oh, this guy looks like Jesus.
I'm Lefty Jesus. I mean,
Jesus.
I advertise accurately. What can I say?
Oof, the dead naming. Oof.
I love it, bro. I'm sorry about the time.
That's okay.
Confusion.
Glad we could work it
I
out.
misread it. No, it's all good. And I can't. I was telling you, I don't have my other Mac connected with a camera.
No, you're
so
good.
that's why I'm
Everybody
not
can
on.
look at my
All right.
beautiful face.
Yeah, so we got Lefty Jesus.
Bear with me a little bit. I'm not feeling.
Oh yeah, this is just gonna be my fucking face, unfortunately, because I guess his cam wasn't working. Although I had watched a couple of panels that he had done, like open call panels that he had done on his channel, and I didn't see a camera. The only time I saw him on it, so I was familiar with it. This is Skylar Fiction, and the only time, or the thing that made me familiar with him was he was on Modern Day Debate against Andrew Wilson, and I thought his performance was pathetic. And then following, you know, both of them on Twitter and sort of looking at their interactions there, I found it even more pathetic. So I wanted to sort of, at first my idea was to kind of challenge him on what he had been arguing initially and just try and help him round that out. I don't even remember what that was. I just remember that the defense that there was no, it was so much, that debate was so much two ships sailing past each other in the night that I don't think there was ever a chance of a productive conversation. But like, there was no effort made. I mean, Andrew's never going to make an effort for that because he's like the worst faith debater on the internet right now. But Skylar wasn't either because I guess he was mad and hated Andrew or whatever, which, like, I mean, you know, mood. But at the same time, not a good first look, certainly for me. So then I was like clicking around on his shit and I found this, he seemed like a pretty progressive guy. And I was clicking around on his shit and he was a little bit, I don't even know that I would call him like a trans medicalist. I just think from the conversation, he just doesn't really understand, like, he's just not up to date with a lot of the, like, current, philosophy, current research when it comes to, like, gender theory, which, again, I've, shifted a little bit on, but I think broadly speaking, from what I recall, he and I probably still would disagree on some aspects. He came across as very turfy, and that's what I called him in the title of the video. We're gonna see if that even holds up, because if it doesn't, I'm gonna change the title. I'm not gonna have an inaccurate title, and I'm definitely not going to be one of those people in this sphere who will just label anyone who disagrees with them a Nazi or a TERF or anything like that. I want to be known for being very specific and explicit with how I use both of those labels. So who knows? This might be getting the title change.
Super hot. I'm feeling a little queasy, so.
You're all good. Take your time, man. Here's what I figured. I figured
I don't know
maybe
if you thought I was nervous, maybe.
You know, Lefty, you
I really just did not feel well.
A debate soon on the Crucible, and then maybe.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, I had told him because at the time Andrew Wilson and I were still. Andrew hadn't blocked me yet. We were still talking in DMs about coming on to do the spanking his child abuse debate, which, like, I know, but you know, whatever. It's an opportunity to get on the Crucible, and that's like fucking platforming. So whatever. And then he bitched out and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I forgot that this was like before any of that went down. For anybody interested, all of the DMs between Andrew and myself are up on my Twitter as the pinned tweet, per Andrew's permission in fucking YouTube comments, because I accused him of running from me, which I told him I would. And a bunch of people in the comments were saying, oh, release the DMs, liar, release the DMs, release the DMs. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do that without Andrew's explicit permission. And then the Crucible, like, account said, release them, with, like, a period. Which is really, like, funny and, you know, weird and dramatic or whatever. But, yeah, so they're all up there. You can see him pretty obviously either bitching out or not wanting to bother with a smaller creator, which, if it's the latter, I could be somewhat more sympathetic to. But he made an agreement, and that's pretty fucking pathetic, if you ask me. So, anyways, yeah. Let's get back to this shit.
Start the conversation going, kind of maybe start where you wanted to get this conversation, what your points were, things like that. I'll give you that time.
Yeah, sure. I'm Lefty Jesus. I've been a shit poster on, yes, I'm still calling it Twitter for a little while now. Name kind of gives it away. Obviously, I consider myself a leftist, meaning that I push for progressive values, socialist.
I still consider myself a leftist, for the record. I consider myself the only correct leftist. Everybody else has strayed far too far. We gotta bring them all back.
That sort of thing. I am sort of dipping my toe into the debate sphere, like Skylar alluded to. I am going to be on the Crucible here eventually, debating Andrew Wilson on corporal punishment.
No, you're not.
But in the meantime,
we will agree on that one. I'm sorry.
Well,
I have a feeling me and you are going to agree on that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing about researching that one, is it's like you just start reading. Yes, you're correct.
I still have no idea what Andrew's case was even going to be. Like, I have no clue what he was going to argue. I'm pretty sure he was just going to say, well, I spanked my kids and they turned out fine, or I was spanked and I turned out fine. Like, I have no idea where there is no research the only thing that the research confirmed from what I remember was that children were the only thing that corporal punishment discouraged was children performing like unwanted actions or like disobeying when the authority figure could see them. But it didn't actually discourage the behavior. It just discouraged when they would do it. So like even in the cases where it had a positive effect, it still failed at its ultimate goal. I have no idea what he was going to be arguing for that.
Over and over
Well,
again.
if you have kids, like,
I don't.
Like, no, I'm saying like in general, like if one has kids, they realize real quick. Like now, I realize you don't have to beat them or hurt them or cause physical fear like that in order to get them to listen.
No.
If you have a relationship with them and like they feel you're a loving parent, guess what? They're gonna treat you like a loving child. Like doesn't mean they're not gonna get in trouble or something, but like there's no reason to do it. Anyways, I don't know.
No,
you're good. Well, I mean, we can start sort of getting into our disagreements here, because that was sort of I take actually quite a great deal of issue with your trans positions, or your positions on the trans community, whatever you want to call it. I was watching your stream, I think from yesterday, your stream VOD from yesterday, and the first thing that I kind of wanted to mention here, you said non-binary is a made-up gender.
Ooh.
I just think it's bullshit, is what I say.
Non-binary is a made-up gender. So I do still disagree with this, but in a way more like anal, annoying, DGGer way. All gender, to some extent, is made up. There are two genders that are like prominent in society that are probably most prominent because they have direct, like, because it's male and female, or men and women, right? Because they have very physical signifiers. Like, I don't, as much as I could go like meme and shitpost here, I genuinely don't know if there's any physical signifiers to whether or not someone is non-binary. I mean, there's presentation ways, but then we get into the aspects of where I would say that like gender is made up. But so this was when I was way back in my more like hippy dippy everything's a gender, and I don't know where I don't know if I'm quite that. I don't want to say far gone, but I don't know if I'm quite that far on it anymore.
Yeah, me too. I think all genders are kind of bullshit, though.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, you agree.
Well, no, we don't agree. See, that's the problem here. Is I'm a gender abolitionist. Well, I think all genders are bullshit. I think they're all.
I am so aggressive right out of the gate. Oh my god. I have such a chip on my shoulder. I could excuse some of this on me not feeling well, but holy shit, why am I so aggressive? Learning debating from Vosh was poison.
Sort of social constructs that we've adhered behaviors and sexual characteristics onto, but ultimately they're arbitrary distinctions that we don't need to maintain.
I agree with you 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would totally agree with you. I think it's silly. I think that's why part of the whole trans argument, like when we're talking about like these, it's like you're either going to have, right, you're going to have someone who either has gender dysphoria, right, which is when obviously they look in the mirror, they don't see the same sex, they don't feel like they're in the right body, right? Now you may have some other form that isn't like more like just for some reason it isn't gender dysphoria. It's just the person, I guess, has a preference, right? But any of this, whenever they start to transition, right, any kind of transgender person, all they're doing, like you're saying, is falling into societal norms that we have at the time and changing their physical bodies in order to adhere to those societal things that we want to get rid of, these concepts of gender in a society.
I mean, just because we acquire our gendered constructs from the examination of like prior gendered constructs doesn't mean that like they're any more or less valid than new ones that come along or old ones.
What the fuck? What
get
does
discarded.
this even mean?
Totally.
What? Dude, literally, learning debating for Bosch fucking permeated my brain. Like, thinking that sophistry is, like, just okay to like that's like he's making points and observations, and I'm like, whoa, society, so cringy.
Fully agree, but we want
I did not expect to be cringing this much already. I remember being proud of this debate. Now I fucking hate it.
to get rid of them, right?
Well, in the long term, but like I think you and I can both understand that that's probably not coming anytime soon.
Sure, but then what's the purpose? Like, then a transgender person is literally just trying to fulfill society's needs in order to make them feel better.
No, a transgender person is trying to fulfill whatever they feel they need to do in order to make themselves feel more comfortable in their given gender identity.
That's true.
And given the fact that society for the past I don't know, all of it has basically been a two-gender primarily focused society with rare exceptions scattered throughout history. It makes sense that people who feel that they maybe don't conform with the gender identity they were assigned at birth might ascribe to themselves characteristics of the opposite quote-unquote gender identity, even when, I mean, ultimately, I think that railroading people into deciding, okay, well, you can be a trans man or a cis man, a trans woman or a cis woman is kind of a, again, arbitrary distinction. And I think
unnecessary.
I think that the only reason that a lot of people gravitate towards those archetypes is because those are the archetypes predominant in most areas of society today.
Now, I agree with all of that, but I want to ask my past self, why do you think those archetypes are the ones that are most prominent in society? Because, like, I agree with, like, all of that, and all of that follows very logically, but why, right? Why do you think that is? You know?
It's a popularity contest.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, you just said it's most popular in society today. It's
I
most
don't know
common.
what he's going
Well,
on
yes,
about.
as in man and woman are the most common genders in society. Like they're trigender societies.
Biologically, that's true.
Well, trigender societies are not like a common thing. So all I was
I know why I call him a TERF, because he is like, okay, he's like, maybe it's because he's like super transmedicalist. Okay, I think I remember. This is coming back
referring to there was the fact that like trans people, if someone has gender dysphoria or feels that they don't properly identify with the gender they were assigned at birth, just because they go, okay, if they were assigned male at birth, and just because they go, oh, well, actually, I'm a woman, that has no bearing on whether or not like man and woman are the two gendered constructs we should be shooting for. Again, that's like totally arbitrary.
Well, there's no ought. There's no ought in what gender concept.
That's true.
Well, yeah, that's why I find it interesting. That's
personal
why I
preference.
find it interesting that you take issue with non-binary identities, because if it's really personal preference, who cares?
It's just then you're basically just making an extra category that doesn't need to exist. You can just say they're human characteristics.
Well, they're all categories that don't need to exist. No category needs to exist.
Okay, he's
and
being irrational here.
but the
I'm
whole
just
idea
demonstrating the
is this is
hypocrisy
what's
in the
being so
argument, but I'm not actually
heavily
furthering any
focused on, right?
argument of my own.
It's such a big issue. Like the original thing we were talking about, right, was that by even saying, hey,
baby
I
debater.
agree with a biological woman that she shouldn't have to see a biological man nude in her locker room, you called me transphobic.
Yeah, I can explain that actually.
Yeah, I know, but that's the point, right? Like you want to talk about nuance and be able to have like a more basic, but as soon as someone says something that you either take is slightly disagreeing with you or you disagree with, you go right to the idea of transphobia.
No, actually,
Okay,
I call
okay.
transphobia transphobia. So transphobia would be any.
Hold on, I'm gonna give myself credit here for calling a spade a spade. So while it is true in the most technical sense of the word, that a person, a transgendered woman, is most likely born biologically male. While that is a true statement that can be scientifically proven, you would not go up to this person and refer to them as a biological male. That would be considered highly transphobic. So for him to parade around, which as he did, now I remember what the thing was. It was because of, was it Leah Thomas? That, the trans swimmer, she actually just quit swimming because nobody wants to be on a team with her, which is, that fucking sucks. But yeah, he was kind of losing his shit on Twitter and like, blowing Riley Gaines or whatever. That's the the 6th place swimmer who's like desperately trying to scrabble for a Fox News career. But yeah, he was just like biological male this, biological male that, and I think that's what I took issue with. But I mean, yeah, so both things are correct. He is accusing me of sort of being in the like cancel mob, and I again, I don't want to, that's not me, but I don't remember specifically how the tweets went down. It's possible I was a little overzealous. I don't remember.
Action made or statement given that denies the validity of trans people and their chosen identities, and leaning on the whole biological man as a very, very common way for people to dismiss the validity of transgender identities.
Is that your personal definition?
Is what my personal definition?
Transphobia. Is that the dictionary definition of transphobia?
That is most people's definition.
I have to rewind it.
On their chosen identities, and leaning on the whole.
I know, but that's the point, right? Like, you want to talk about nuance and be able to have like a more basic. But as soon as someone says something that you either take is slightly disagreeing with you, or
see,
you
he's strawmanning me here, which I should have called him out.
No, actually, I call transphobia. So transphobia would be any action made or statement given that denies the validity of trans people and their chosen identities, and leaning on the whole biological man as a very, very common way for people to dismiss the validity of.
Yeah, I'm gonna amend that a little bit for sure. I don't think that it's literally anything that I think I would just amend the definition of broadly anytime you dehumanize a trans individual, and I would include denying their gender identity as part of the dehumanization. I just think that my definition here was a bit too specific. But it's like what is racism, right? It's like one of those things that's it's weird to like be actually tried to like nail down and try and define that, but I think it's incredibly important before you start throwing that word around, or words like transphobic or Nazi or anything like that, you better make sure that you have a consistent definition that you can call upon command, because you cannot be one of those idiots who screeches online calling every conservative that they see a Nazi, because then you are doing exactly what they say you're doing. You're devaluing the word of its meaning. Words have meaning. They need to have meaning in order for us to like fucking communicate with each other. And it's kind of one of my big issues with the left, how we seem to start, dissolving everything into this whole like, oh well, everybody has their own subjective definition. While that is true, that everyone probably has operating definitions of different words in their heads at all times, and especially for debates, it's very important to make sure that everybody is on the same page with those terms. That doesn't mean that you just get to redefine shit willy-nilly and then that your definitions are just as valid as other definitions. And I think that was a big problem that I had back in this phase of my life, which was that I thought that I was Mr. Big Smart Brain because I had watched Mr. Big Smart Brain and learned his fucking tactics. And I thought that as long as I had my own subjective opinion, I could incorporate new information into it and rationalize it all within my worldview, and everything would make sense. And guess what? That's not really how discourse works. You have to be able to interact with and empathize with worldviews and positions other than your own. And I explicitly remember at this point in my life, that was something I was dead set against. This was my all conservatives are effectively Nazis phase, which is so fucking cringe to go back to. I was afraid that I would be cringing really hard going back to this.
Transgender identities.
Is that your personal definition?
Is what my personal definition?
Transphobia. Is that the dictionary definition of transphobia?
That is most people's definition of transphobia. No, it's not, you obnoxious.
Yes. I don't care.
Well, that's also most trans people's definition of transphobia.
That's probably true.
So,
what?
Okay, so you're just... I said in Germany during World War II, most Germans were Nazis.
Okay, what does that
That's
have to
Say,
do
well,
with
really
most
these?
stupid.
people, because the point is you
That's
just said,
not
well,
true.
most people are this now. Right? It's not, it doesn't matter if most people like adhere to this particular definition. If you're just all of a sudden a new made up definition, phobia means fear
Okay,
of.
so can you define
Right.
homophobia for me then, Skylar?
Okay,
Fear
that was
of
good.
Gays.
Really?
Fear of
Homophobia
yes.
is being afraid of gays.
Homo.
So then what
yes.
would be
Homo,
wrong with
say-
banning gay
oh,
marriage?
It's not gays. It's homo.
Okay, so what's like so it's so disappointing, right? Because at this time, what I really needed was someone like fucking I needed someone like my friend Tyler who like actually knows their shit and doesn't crumble from this like stupid macho shit, and like I needed somebody to fucking put me in my place effectively. And from what I remember with my first discussion with Tyler, I fucking did get well put in my place. So it's just, but having an idiot as one of my first major opponents definitely didn't do much for my ego. I will be right back. And then we will continue with this fucking suffering. Testing. Some amount of letters and numbers. Sorry. Went up and grabbed my water bottle. Alright. This is literally fucking pain and suffering. I can't even describe how embarrassing this is for me. It's like watching a Vosh debate. Except worse, because it's me. I'm gonna have to tell Tyler about this. It's so fucking embarrassing, and I'm gonna have to fucking. I gotta have to apologize to him because like this is the fucking Josh that he first interacted with. All right, cringe shit. Hello, welcome back. You move that, so I'm drinking water. Fuck. All right. Smart cars accelerating.
Same fear of. Say homosexual.
Yes, I know. You're very smart. What would be
why
wrong with banning gay marriage?
Just a minute ago, you wanted me to break it down. Now you're like, I know.
No, I'm asking you a question now. What would be wrong with banning gay marriage? Is that homophobic?
That's a good question.
It would actually violate the Constitution.
I'm asking you. No, I'm not asking that. I'm asking you. Would it be morally wrong and would it be homophobic?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it homophobic, but I would say it would be wrong.
Okay.
At least
all
he's
right.
consistent.
Well, you know what? I guess at least you bit the bullet on that one.
See, there you go. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what all I get from you people, right? Use laughter, awkward laughter.
Well, you sound ridiculous.
Right? Shut the fuck up for a second. I'm gonna just remove you for a moment so I can actually talk. So if you want to like,
yeah,
let
see,
the other
this is the
talk,
see,
so
this is the problem. Is his fucking? I've seen too many Vosh debates. I've seen too many like indignant assholes. That like this guy being an indignant asshole is just inflating my ego to like ridiculous levels. It's so bad for me.
They aren't afraid of gay people. If you think these guys,
so yeah, basically, Skylar, I wish you being an idiot was detrimental to me.
You're out of your mind. They may want to hurt them. They may want to destroy them. They may want to limit their rights. They're not afraid of them, right? So it's important in a society. Like when we use language, we just don't change the meanings of words, right? Like the book 1984 does, where all of a sudden war is peace, freedom is slavery. Like homophobia is referencing a fear of same sex.
Okay, so first of all, that's retarded. Second of all, my problem here is he's like correct because that he's more correct than most people that make reference to 1984. Because that is what 1984 is about. It is about the redefinitions of words and how words, after if you define them too far, have no meaning, that kind of shit. So like that is technically true. However, to give him credit for that is fucking painful.
Homosexuals or homosexuality, sex. Go on.
Dictionary, homophobia, noun, dislike of or prejudice against gay people.
Scared.
So if anyone is redefining words here in order to suit their narrative, it's you, my friend.
Like that's
Nobody
so
thinks
good,
of homophobia
but like I
as
need
being
that
afraid
now.
of gay people, except
I don't
for
want
you
him
and a bunch
to
of
have
redditors
that.
trying to sound
that
smart.
guy is an asshole.
Okay.
That guy, where's
Right,
I don't.
So you think just people who don't like gay people is what you're trying to tell me. Fine. There are
That
people who
guy,
don't like gay
that guy is an asshole. That's not me anymore.
Well, okay, so actually, all I was trying to establish is that the most common.
Listen, you called me trans.
Yes, I'm trying to explain why.
It's not anti-trans, you clown. It's not anti-trans to say biological women should not have to see a biological male in their dress.
Okay, so we can get into that specifically in a second, but
yeah,
transphobia specifically entails.
That's what I brought you on the show for, to talk about what you accuse me of. Right?
Yes,
and
I'm trying to, Skylar, I'm trying to talk to you here.
Okay, yeah, you want to fucking laugh a minute ago, right? And play fucking games? Now you got me serious.
Play games.
Now fucking answer the question.
I'm trying to answer the question. You're talking over me.
You're trying to answer the question. Just answer it.
Transphobia is defined as dislike of or prejudice against trans people.
That is not what my position was.
Okay.
Clown.
I got one sentence in and you instantly cut me off. Are you afraid of me establishing my argument or something?
Literally just showed that what I did was not that definition.
Do you think this makes you look good to your audience, man? Nobody is on your side on this. I'm trying to have a
okay. Now let's talk about that real quick. So that was made directly in reference to a video or a stream of his that I had watched like the night before of this, where his entire it wasn't his entire audience. I hope not. I hope it's bigger than that. Dude's a dick, but like, damn, he doesn't deserve that. It was a bunch of people from his audience coming to this call-in and like trying to like reason with him, and it was so shitty because like a lot of these people were just like, you know, like people, there were a few trans people on there that are just like trying very calmly and like pleading with him to like understand, and he's just like so obstinate. Like this kind of rigidity is what I'm glad that I was able to avoid, but fuck me, I was literally like, I was close to turning into that. Like, that's the thing. That's what's fucking awful, right? Is like, in my mind, okay, at the time, in my mind, Destiny is this immovable, at this time, okay? Destiny was this horrible, immovable, amoral liberal who only cared about the bottom line and refused to intake any new arguments from the lefties and refused to intake any new information and just refused to see reason, hated the left for no reason, was friends with all these right-wingers, so he's probably in bed with them, like shit like that, right? Okay? Because I had like seen one Destiny video and it was probably him debating Vosh. So like probably didn't, you know, work out that right. And then Vosh was this, very cool, funny, witty interlocutor who always incorporated new information as it came along into his argument, and always had the most reasoned takes and the most well thought out positions. Dude really has some very, I will give the credit to Vosh where it's due. Dude has some incredible rhetorical skills. So incredible that he is able to carry himself directly through any conversation merely on the fact that he is usually rhetorically superior to the person that he's engaging with. You need to do more in-depth research than Twitter headlines, and you need to be able to access, I think you should be able to access at least 3 studies per debate. The best part is I'm probably going to get, if this gets seen by anybody, it's going to be thrown into one of those like VDS compilations. I was a hardcore VGGer for a long time. I'm still in the Discord. I'm not, I don't really want to leave. I don't hate the guy. But like, my style of debating just far more suits the well-researched sort of foundation-based argument, because you can get by on rhetoric. I remember listening to, it was actually a Destiny versus Vosh debate. I remember hearing Destiny say like, or Vosh saying, you need to overpower conservatives on rhetoric. You need to, and fascists too. You need to just like boot, like strongman them, which is true, but you can't. The problem is, you're not just, when you're doing these online debates, you're not just debating that person, right? You're sort of debating inside of the audience's head as well. And there are going to be a lot of different kinds of people that watch the debate. There are going to be people who are just fans of a conservative person and aren't going to like you anyways, and probably, honestly, admittedly, aren't going to be won over by your bravado and strongman showmanship. There are people who are on your side already and don't really just want to see you kind of kick ass and meme and whatever, and that's great. And then there are people who are like undecided. And what they want to see is a mixture of both. They want to see that you have the information to back up your arguments, but that you can present it in like not a dry, boring ass fucking academic way. And I think that was where I started to get disillusioned with Vosh, was I started to realize that a lot of his arguments, a lot of his debates seemed to be solely relying on his rhetorical gifts to muscle him through. And his unfamiliarity with certain sources, certain leads, certain news stories, etc., has cost him in debates before. And I just want to be clear, because I am in both DGG and VGG, and I do still watch content from both of them, although Destiny, I admit, I watch a lot more content of, and a lot of that has to do with just, you know, he's been kind of doing cooler shit. With regards to like the, you know, the Norm Finkelstein, Lex Friedman debate, he's talking to Ben Shapiro, he's talking to Jordan Peterson. It's just more interesting to see a left-leaning interlocutor engage with people with like reputation. I mean, destroying Candace Owens' career apparently due to his secret contacts. But yeah, it's just important for me to let me give a reason for this ramble. I just want to lay out a little bit of background on like where I was, what headspace I was in this debate, because this was like a year ago, maybe less. Because it's in the House, so it's got to be less than a year ago, and I have evolved and changed so much with the way that I think about things, the way that I engage with new ideas, the way I engage with you know, other people of opposing belief systems, that I like myself a lot more where I'm situated than where I was at this point. I think that even in this little time period, that's part of the reason I wanted to watch this debate, because I wanted to demonstrate the growth. Okay, well, wait a minute. I want to see if I can kill that guy before he does the kill. Let's see if that can. Well, anyways, enough rambling. Let's get back to this.
Stop it. Just either the definition you just gave did not match what I said.
I don't care. It's the definition.
Well, you just accused me of being this definition, asshole.
Okay.
That was the point. You accused me of being transphobic. Then you went and read the definition of transphobic, right? And then when I said, hey, what I said wasn't that definition, you're like, what's the point?
No, I tried to explain why what you said was transphobic. I've been trying to explain that. You keep cutting me off. Are you going to let me finish or not?
Definition. You just gave the definition.
Are you going to let me finish with what I was saying or not? Are you going to let me get one sentence in, or are you going to let me actually finish my point?
Don't repeat yourself.
I'm not repeating myself. It is transphobic for someone to imply that despite their chosen gender identity, in this case Leah Thomas, being a woman, a girl, identifying them as a biological male in spite of this is transphobic. Whether you like it or not, it is transphobic.
You said being a woman? What does that mean?
Being a woman is anyone who identifies as a woman.
So just anybody who identifies as something, it's being transphobic of saying that they can't. What biological woman? No, I don't see what you're saying. I don't see how that's transphobic by your definition.
Okay.
What am I doing?
This is one of those things where I'll say I'm still rethinking parts of my transpositions, so I'm just not going to comment on this part, but I don't know if I'm 100% on that stupid ass definition. It is, I can defend it, which is like, I can still defend it. I don't know if I'm like ideologically believe it though.
That fits your definition.
You are, I mean, are you, when you said biological male, you were referring to...
Don't question it
When
now.
you said biological male, you were referring to Leah Thomas, right?
He's a biological
Okay,
male.
yeah, that's transphobic, dude.
Okay, I don't know. It kind of sounded like he said he's a biological male. I don't know if he did or not. We're going to say that he didn't. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Even though he doesn't deserve it, we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
That's stating a fact.
Okay, it's a transphobic fact.
Is stating facts. This is the best I'm going to get.
Can I ask you a question?
That was the stupidest fucking thing. A transphobic fact. So I know what I was trying to say, but it's so cringe.
Question then, how would this swimmer have even known? How would this swimmer have even known that Leah Thomas was trans?
Is it anti-Semitic to say that 7 million Jews were killed by Hitler?
How would Leah Thomas have known, or how would this other swimmer have known Leah Thomas was trans? How did they know?
Now
I think she passes quite well.
Now I agree with Skylar. Because what he's trying to point out here is that all he's pointing out... So, I'm going to give him credit, or I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and say that he said she's a biological male, which if he did, that is true. That is accurate.
I would agree with what he's driving at here when he says is it anti-Semitic to say that 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust or whatever. All he's trying to point out here is that just because you might find that specific fact offensive, given the context of the discussion, it doesn't mean that the fact in and of itself is anti-Semitic, transphobic, etc. It's the problem is I'm too fucking hopped up on my own energy to like calm down a second and actually listen to him. This is a dick off for me. Like I can see it in my stance, I can hear it in my voice. This is me like getting in big dick mode, and it's so embarrassing. I'm sorry that this is what we ended up doing. Fucking if Tyler messages me in a little bit, we'll hang out with him.
So I'm really curious.
Well, they probably saw her dick in the locker room.
Yeah, why were they looking at her dick in the locker room?
That is, that's weird.
I don't know about you. I've been in another locker room with dudes. Wasn't going to look at their dicks, but I seen them.
When I was in a locker room in high school changing for swim, I looked down at the ground, as did every other guy in that locker room, because we were all teenagers.
Come on. Be real with me. This one I'm sticking with myself on. Nobody fucking, when I was in high school, in the locker room, changing for swim class, first of all, we all fucking hated swim class. Usually it was really early in the morning. It was fucking cold as shit, especially in the fall. It wasn't heated or anything. It was an old as fuck pool. And, so we got changed with our eyes on the fucking ground, okay? There was literally a line for like the bathroom stall, because there was in our locker room there were a bunch of like shower stalls with like pull curtains, so you could change in there, or there was one sit down toilet in the guys' locker room. There were like 2 or 3 urinals. There was one toilet in the stall, and there would be a line of like 6 dudes waiting to get in there to fucking change. Straight dudes are more scared of dicks than any fucking people on the planet. The thing is here, that's me ascribing my personal life experience onto women. I don't know how women behave in a locker room. I can appeal to like anecdotal, because I remember asking my partner, like, hey, when you were in fucking high school, did you all like, ogle each other as you changed? And she was like, no. Like, I don't think that that's the case. However, I don't want to rely on anecdotal evidence. It's possible that given like the context of the situation, maybe women are just, I don't know. A lot of women that I've known just seem to be more comfortable doing that shit around each other, just like changing and shit. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone seeing Leah Thomas changing and seeing like her genitals was more likely in a women's locker room than it was in a men's locker room. I don't think it's fair for me here to just assume that because I looked at the ground. Now, I'm also appealing a bit to like the age here, because in high school we were all fucking embarrassed of our bodies, and maybe that's the case, but again, I don't know that applies to women in the same way that it did to me and my friends. So I think this is a really stupid fucking argument for me to use.
Yes, we were like teenagers. We're all ashamed of our bodies when we're teenagers.
So why do you want Leah Thomas to have to be in a room with a dick?
Well, Leah Thomas is the trans swimmer.
Sorry, the person. Yeah, I know.
Because there's no harm in her being there.
Yes, to the girl there's harm.
What harm?
She doesn't want to see it. She doesn't want to see it.
Okay, so?
Okay.
That is harm.
Well, then let me ask you this. Hold on, because I've been thinking about this. I actually...
You just want to take away...
That is harm. However, I'm going to lay out an analogy next that we are going to critique bit by bit, where it is harm, but who is being harmed more in the scenario is what you have to ask yourself.
People's freedoms. You don't want to let people have rights. You just want to say, I'm right. This, like, anybody can identify as anything.
So he's
right?
removed
and
me
then
from the stream
everybody else in
because
society
I keep
has
trying
to
explain
dictate
to him.
and live by those beliefs as long as it doesn't hurt anybody.
Skylar, I actually have been thinking about this, and I have a way that I think I can illustrate this to you quite well, okay? But you have to let me set it up, all right? I promise I'm not, this is not like meandering.
You drive me nuts when you talk more about the
So let's say you're a principal.
This is a bit of sophistry.
Okay, you're a principal at a high school.
Stop blithering.
And 2 students come up to you. One of them is a white girl,
I
and one of them is a
this out
black
immediately.
girl. And the white girl tells you that she is being harmed by the black girl drinking from the water fountain next to her. What do you do?
Okay. I don't think that I don't think
It would
these
be
are
factually
equivalent
incorrect to say
scenarios.
harm.
Why?
Harm
Wait,
is-
Okay,
wait, what?
so first of
Factual?
all,
What are you talking about? She's being
harm is
harmed.
He
not-
said
hold-
something. He said
That's-
something really fucking dumb. So we're gonna get back to that. I don't like this analogy now that I've heard it. I don't think that drinking at a water fountain has the same social expectations surrounding it regarding like, you know, like revealing circumstances and like body, like all of that shit that comes associated with being in a locker room. This is a dog shit analogy.
Let's say you're a principal.
This is a dog
Okay,
shit
you're a
analogy.
principal at a high school.
I think what I'm trying to
And two
illustrate here is
students
like
come
the
up to you.
differential
One
in
of them is a
harm, but
white
like this
girl,
is a
and one of
dog
them
shit
is a black
analogy.
girl. And the white girl tells you that she is being harmed by the black girl drinking from the water fountain next to her. What do you do?
It would be factually incorrect. that she's
Okay,
being
that's
harmed.
stupid.
Wait,
I don't
wait,
know what that means.
Factual? What are you talking about?
No,
She's being
harm is
harmed.
not- harm is not the standard of why a woman shouldn't have to be in the same dressing room as a biological male. It doesn't have to be the starting.
Well, then
standard
what
of
is the
harm. There's
standard?
all different reasons. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be harm, though.
Okay, but well, I'm
That's-
asking. Then I'm
That's
asking what
true.
your standard is for
That's
keeping her
your
out.
no, because I respect a woman's right to choose that she doesn't want to get changed in front of a biological.
Yeah, why
male,
wouldn't you
or
respect a
that she
woman's
doesn't
right to
wanna
choose
see-
if she doesn't want to drink water next to a
Well,
black
she doesn't
girl?
have to. She doesn't have to get changed. That's you're talking about. It's two
No,
different
it's
things.
exactly the same.
Okay,
That's
It's
the
not
problem.
exactly
Let me
the
ask you this.
same,
If a
but in
white
that
girl walked up
context,
to you and
it
said
is
she
the same
identifies as black,
question.
would you say she's
No,
black?
because that's not an identity that we accept.
No,
we
actually,
accept as valid.
transracial is more. Transracial is actually more of a reality than fucking transgender.
Cool. I noticed that you didn't actually answer my
Yeah, I know.
hypothetical.
Cool.
though.
Avoid. Cool.
You didn't
Avoid
answer
the-
my. Well,
what
you
I just
avoided
said.
my hypothetical,
Cool,
which
it's
I think
cool, man.
illustrates the
No, it wasn't-
situation here
I
quite
said that your
well.
hypothetical was built on a straw man of your own.
No, it's not a
principle
straw
of
man.
Why I say yes, it is. It's about harm. You made the principle of harm. I don't.
Then
share
what is
your
the
standard
principle
of why
you
that should happen.
choose to
Once
use
again,
to
He
keep
has
Leah
already
Thomas
told you.
out of the locker room? What is the
He
principle
already
you're
told
using?
you
I'm
that,
asking you now.
jackass. He already told you what the principle
I'm gonna
was.
put you back
Oh my
in.
God.
Women's right
Because
to
you can't seem to
choose.
Stop interrupting.
Oh my
Now-
God.
And you wonder
Now-
why you
This
can't-
is-
What you should be doing here is saying, okay, what is the difference between women's right to choose and women's right to be free from harm? Because you could argue that they're sort of the same thing, but instead I'm just too fucking, bullheaded and I can't even see that. It's so annoying.
It's
No one
unbelievable.
can see you.
No,
He
it's
is
believable.
so fragile.
You're being a jackass.
keep it
You
going.
need to not be a
Are you
jackass.
streaming live to your own channel right now?
Skylar, I don't have
Oh,
a
no, I'm
channel.
asking you. I know that. Yeah, I know. Are you You don't have a channel.
No, I have a YouTube channel. I intend to put a
Are you
recording of
recording
this
this right
debate
now?
on, but like
Yeah,
honestly,
that's
I'm
what I
not
thought.
quite sure about that now. It's not really a productive conversation.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it
You know,
really
clowns like this.
isn't.
I'm a clown.
Who just make emotional arguments, right? Just want to dismiss. You want to dismiss women have any right not to be around nude biological men. You want to just make them.
It's really fucking like hypocritical of him to say you just want to sit here and make emotional arguments when all of his have basically been based on emotion as well.
Mockery of it and pretend women don't have rights, right? That's fine, dude, right? It's okay. It's okay with me. Go ahead.
Are we going to have a conversation?
I'll let you go, man, if you want to go.
No,
Okay?
I don't want to go. I want to
All right,
talk to
stop
you,
asking
dude.
me-
I want
okay,
to
then
talk
talk
to
and
you.
make a
You
point.
are throwing
Talk
a
and make a point.
tantrum.
That's all you got to do, right? When we do this drama, we're talking
Throwing
about,
a
hey, you're gonna
tantrum
let me
while
make
you're
a
the one
talk? You're gonna let
screaming
me
down
make
the
a point?
microphone.
Can I give a whole minute?
Christ,
Talk,
dude.
right? You're the asshole. Start laughing and making a mockery in the beginning of this conversation. You turn the tone of this shit. That
All
could
right,
have been a really good
nah, you're a
conversation
fucking fragile little
into
bitch,
this tone
snowflake.
now.
You need to get over
Now
that,
pissed
Skylar.
off
People
because
are
you're an
allowed to
asshole
laugh. Come
that
on,
wasn't
man.
willing to listen. Now, when I go back and put you back on, if you're ready to make your argument, or you have a specific question, ask the fucking question.
Yeah, my specific question is this. You are a principal of a high school.
Okay.
Two girls come
It's
up to
such
you.
a
One
bad
is white, one
analogy,
is
but I
black.
was
The
so
white one
based
says that
for
she's
that.
being harmed by the black girl drinking water
How
from
did
the water fountain next
how
to
did I learn the Destiny tactics before even being a regular DGG viewer? When you're done, I'm just gonna ask you the same question. How did I know? Advanced technique.
to her. What do you do?
Tell her I don't give a fuck about her feelings.
Okay, well, that's what I would say to the girl who was in the
Yeah,
locker room
that's
with
really
Leah Thomas.
dumb.
I see those two situations as identical.
But that's not a legal.
You're dumb, but so is he.
good.
Well, I'm
Two
just- I'm
idiots
curious why
gibbering
you
at each
don't.
other.
It's just arguing opinions. Okay, I respect people's privacy. That's why.
Well, what does this have to do with? I mean,
Okay, that is a Daniel Hikikachu, why are you interrogating me moment. Well, we're just arguing opinions. Well, yeah, it's a fucking debate.
well, it's a locker
Because-
room. You don't really have privacy in a locker room to begin with.
No, you do actually. Yeah, there's no men typically in the.
Well, there
locker
wasn't a
room.
man in this locker room.
There is. a
No,
man.
there's a trans girl, but not a man.
It's a biological.
See, and
Okay,
I remember
see,
thinking I was
and
so
again-
Does she have a
transphobic for
penis?
that, but like,
does the girl have a penis?
Some girls do.
No, did Leah Thomas? have
I
a
don't
penis?
actually know, and I think it's kind of
Then
weird
why
that
would
you're
the per-
interested.
Well, why
in
would the
that.
well, no. Why would the person report that she saw Leah Thomas in the
Based.
locker room if she doesn't have a penis?
I mean, I couldn't tell you, dude.
Okay, that just makes sense because you really don't.
But I don't
know
see what
about-
harm seeing a penis has.
Yeah, like I said, you can
That's
say it's not
pretty
harmful, but
based.
It's about respecting other people's privacy.
Wait, hold on. Is respect the threshold for you then? Is that what you're operating off of?
Oh, it
I'm
would depend
asking
on what-
genuinely.
It would depend on whatever kind of context of whatever particular situation.
Well, for this
we're
situation,
talking about. Right, I respect the woman's privacy to say, hey, listen, I don't want to get changed in front of a biological male.
okay. So, what about Leah Thomas's privacy?
Her privacy, if she's saying, hey, she doesn't want to get changed in front of biological women, is that what you're saying?
No. Well, let me ask you. Would you send her into the men's locker room then?
see, and that's always
No.
my.
Okay, so that-
I would
hold
just-
on. That's always my fucking thing that I do come back to is like, okay, so what's your this is my new favorite catchphrase. It is it's going to be my catchphrase for the entirety of my political career, online and offline. So what's your solution? Because I am so sick and tired of rightoids, leftoids, everyone just refusing to work together, or rather declaring problems loudly, right? Just pointing at a problem, declaring that it exists, and just pointing it out and grabbing more people and dragging their attention to it and just go, oh my God, do you see this? You see this? You see this? And then you go, okay, what do we do about it? And I go, oh. I think that you shouldn't be allowed to fucking draw attention to a problem unless you're willing or ready to fucking offer a solution. Because I'm so fucking tired of like we have so many new problems that keeps popping up every damn day. So few people who actually like take the time to sit down and try and like. I mean, it sounds. I'm listening to myself now, and it sounds like so sophomoric and shit. But then I think back to the WIC panel, right? And I think about how that ended. And I came in ready with like a specific policy prescription, right? I was like, all right, here's what we do. A fucking 1986 immigration bill, Electric 2 Boogaloo, and we'll add in some immigration reform and some funding package for the DHS. Bada bing. And nobody else had anything. Nobody else had anything. There was, shut down immigration was one, right? Shut immigration down completely was one. I believe that Admiral Gibbs said drone strike women and children on the border. Not one I would personally advocate for, but technically an offered solution. But yeah, it's just really disheartening that nobody seems to like actually sit down and think about this shit. I know it's not true. I know that all of these like politics people think about this shit so much. They have to think about it more than I do. Because I'm not like a full-time streamer, okay? They have to think about this shit more than I do. Where are the solutions?
Well, okay, so this is kind of where I
wouldn't force anybody to do anything. That's the fucking point. That's the difference between you and I. You're saying, hey, force the women in there to have to look at Leah Thomas.
Force is really charged language, dude. I'm not trying to force
oh my
anything,
God,
but I do
Jesus
think that
Christ.
in these situations,
So-
you do have to take one side or the
Forced
other. And I'm
language.
just choosing to side with the marginalized person in this regard.
Yeah, he's interpreting that as like some liberal cuckery, but like, yeah, it is. There is a lot of emphasis and force and or a charge behind the word force, right? You're not just having someone do an action. Someone's not just doing something. You are making them do it. You're forcing. So So like, on the one hand, I agree with me, but on the other hand, I can see how, from his perspective, especially with given my behavior throughout this entire conversation, how he might have gotten the impression that I'm just some sort of like NIMBY PMB, like little limp dick lib boy.
Yeah, women aren't marginalized.
No, but trans women aren't. Well, women certainly are, but trans women are marginalized far more. Are you kidding? You're laughing. See, now you're the one laughing.
Yeah, I am laughing. Like, you're like, I side with the marginalized.
Yeah, I do.
Women are marginalized.
Yeah, but trans women are marginalized even more. Black trans women even more so.
Can you show, do you have like data that shows different?
This was not a debate I was asked to prepare anything for.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to see, like, I could read it and then. You want to talk about, like, do you think children
That was a weird, stupid response.
Gender-affirming
are you talking?
I'm pretty sure the reason I said that was just because Andrew explicitly said bring in some studies, which I did. I read fucking academic studies, and I had like dense shit on like corporal punishment. It was wretched and miserable and like depressing, but like I did it, and then the debate never even fucking happened. But like, yeah, that's what I'm referencing here. But it is also obnoxious. You need to have studies for your debates. That's 100% wrong there.
About hormone blockers?
Hormone therapy, feminizing hormone therapy.
Well, if you're talking about hormone blockers, like puberty blockers,
no, I'm talking about feminizing hormone therapy.
I don't know where that's happening. I mean, that would be a rare case thing that would be up to you and your doctor, and that doesn't happen very often.
I'm gonna put right here in the side chat a link to this is from the Mayo Clinic.
Sure.
All right, and this is gonna explain it. Let's see how I do this here. Banner, comments. How do I switch back? Are you able to see the live chat?
Like the comments or the private chat?
No, the outside chat. Let me see if I can put it in here.
I can see something that says private chat. Comments, got it.
Yeah. So I put it. This is the comments from the show too. So if you want to see what people are saying or talking about, there it is. Right there. That's the Mayo Clinic, right? So this is very helpful. Let's go through this real quick.
Is this where he describes like what trans surgeries are, which is like the dumbest argument against trans surgeries?
Do you see the screen?
Yeah. Wait, your screen? Are you sharing screen? Okay, I got you now.
Yeah, you see on the main screen. Yeah. All right, and I'll zoom in just a little closer.
I am gonna have to get out of here. I'm actually feeling quite queasy.
I know, and I still made it for when did I say that? 22 minutes, and I still made it for like another fucking hour, and I literally did go up and immediately throw up after this. My adrenaline must have been going or something. Keeping all that shit down.
I'm familiar with the study actually.
Okay, good. So you know what the negative effects are?
Well, yeah, but I think that they far outweigh the negative effects of not having gender affirming care as a trans kid.
Okay, and what in this study is used as the positive effects that you're referring to?
What does that have to do with what I just said?
No, because you just said it was better than the negative.
Yeah, wait, what? Hold on. He literally just... If you're going to make a claim that the positive effects outweigh the negative effects, you need to be prepared to answer. And then if he asks the question...
Effects where trans kids kill themselves.
Okay, so what are the positive effects, and how are the positive effects?
The positive effects are they don't kill themselves.
Cute soundbite, dummy, but that's not a fucking good argument.
Right?
God.
Yes. What the it's not.
You're talking about the hormone therapy?
There's actually the hormone therapy. What does the hormone therapy do in order to convince them not to kill themselves?
It makes them feel more comfortable in their physical body, and with the like the hormone blockers, like the puberty blockers, delaying puberty and preventing a trans person from like going through a puberty that they don't want to experience can like drastically decrease their rate of suicide. Like drastically so. Even if they end up like going off of the hormone blockers and later just going through like the puberty of the gender they were assigned at birth, their rate of suicide like drastically
This is okay. This shit is like based on like one study that I didn't read. I got this argument from Vosh and I did the research and it's like one fucking study. And like, I'm sorry, but I do feel that especially with the stuff concerning kids, there needs to be more than like one study. I still think that broadly speaking, I'm in favor of at least puberty blockers for kids, but hormone therapy and surgery, probably not. In the same way that I'm probably not okay with like a 16-year-old getting breast implants. I like a cisgender girl wanting breast implants. Probably not okay with that either. Again, it just goes back to how fucking embarrassing it is to hear myself speak with such confidence on shit I know nothing about.
And how is
Like
that how is
Vosh.
that done through the medication?
Well, because the medication
did I
helps
say that
prevent
out loud?
the effects of the puberty that they wouldn't want to experience.
Excellent. What's that doing? It's changing their body, right? It's not allowing puberty to go.
Well,
through.
yes, but
So,
you can
yeah,
stop the
hold
puberty
on, let me
blockers
fucking
and puberty
finish for a
resumes as
second
normal.
Before you interrupt me, you want to have a conversation? I'm gonna get fucking frustrated.
That has nothing to do with whether or not it
Let me
changes their
finish what I was
body.
saying,
Idiot. He's right.
The whole point is they give these medications to physically alter the child's body, so
Correct.
that their mind, right? Because what the issue is they have gender dysphoria. They don't
True.
connect with their physical body. So the answer by these doctors is to change the physical body instead of fixing the false perception of reality. Right? If it was just about identifying something,
let's not
you don't
go
need
down
the
that
pills.
route.
We don't need the medications. And if your argument to me is that somebody is going to commit suicide because they have to go through fucking puberty because they don't like who they are, that's psychiatric treatment, my man. You don't sit there and change their physical body so that their false sense of reality now matches.
Okay, and that's
body.
really okay.
Go ahead.
All right. I don't know what I don't know what the fuck he's about to say with regards to this. I don't know what that crazy motherfucker's about to say, but my response now to this is that I don't know how you would go about definitively proving that a trans individual was experiencing a quote false sense of reality, because it seems to be that the reality of their situation is that they are deeply uncomfortable being in the body that they are in. So the reality of gender dysphoria is agony and discomfort from the gender that you are presently in because of the sex you were assigned at birth. So I don't know what he's appealing to here to try and claim that he has a better sense of reality than them. And it sounds like the argument that he's the line of argumentation he's going down could be used to argue in favor of things like conversion therapy, which is cringe as fuck and very not effective. It wasn't effective for gay kids, and it probably isn't going to be effective for trans kids. So, yeah, this is... But now let's see what I'm going to say.
Hold on. So you said it's psychiatric help, and I would agree. In a similar manner that we're like really careful about putting like, say, schizophrenic children on antipsychotic medication. The reason that like doctors are like really careful about doing that is because there can be major health consequences and mental health consequences from being on those medications for an extended period of time, especially during formative periods. But like we still, but we still do it. That's what I'm saying is like if
that's not anything dealing with what I was saying.
That's an interesting argument. Genuinely interesting argument. Okay, so you already put kids on it. I think that my issue is that it's not, I don't think that the rates of kids being prescribed, like minors being prescribed antipsychotics, are at the same, I doubt that they're near the same rate of kids being prescribed like hormone therapy, or hormone blockers rather, and gender therapy in general. And it's definitely not equivalent to the amount of kids actually taking hormone blockers because of like all the aftermarket shit. So that would be my issue with that argument, but there's probably a Steelman version of that somewhere in there that like would be acceptable.
Well, you said it was psychiatric, and I'm saying, well, schizophrenia is also a psychiatric disorder.
No, yeah, but you're no. In a see, that's the mishap, right? In something like schizophrenia, you can't cure that through psychiatry, right? There's a brain.
You can't cure gender dysphoria through psychiatry.
Chemicals in their brains have to be treated with medications. Okay, in a transgender treatment, the medications aren't working with the brain chemicals, right? We're not trying to change the way someone thinks, or like somebody who has depression, trying to give them more serotonin to make them more happy, right? What these medications are doing is changing their physical body to represent what their illusion is in their mind, the gender dysphoria. And by changing their body, right? Now they feel better about themselves and they're less likely to commit suicide.
See, it's when you say things like illusion that it really, I mean, that's the kind of stuff
That does sound, yeah, it comes across pretty fucking transphobic to positively assert that
biology by giving it medicine to make it look more like a woman, and that's what the medicine is doing. It's making you grow breasts.
Skylar, what is a woman?
It's making you have less hair.
What is a woman?
A woman, Jesus Christ. Are you talking about biological or?
I am asking you what a woman
is
to you.
Woman.
Not a biological woman, just a woman.
No, I'm going to finish my thought. You're getting off the fucking topic. Once again, the medication we are talking about, right? You say it's not a delusion. What is a
woman?
When a doctor goes through, I'm forgetting the name of the term now. Not trans.
Gender dysphoria.
What's the technical scientific term for a trans person? When they body gender dysphoria.
Some trans people have gender dysphoria, yes.
Gender dysphoria, okay.
I don't like that. I don't like that. All trans people have gender dysphoria. I don't like this whole, well, I can arbitrarily pick my gender, and that's the same thing as being trans. I actually don't like that. Sorry. No, not buying that one. Nope. I think that does a great disservice to people who are actually trans. And hey, I know that Carl maxes oomphies with me, and if he wants to fucking go after me on this, or they rather, I'm sorry, if I misgendered, whatever. If they want to go after me on this one, that's totally fine. I'm open to having my mind changed. But as far as I can see, like, it's like just selecting a gender role versus having actual gender dysphoria. I just don't see those as the same thing. And I think it's harmful to trans people to try and pretend they are the same thing.
Are giving the people who have gender dysphoria, and by definition, gender dysphoria is believing you are trapped in the wrong body, that your biological body is not the correct body. That is by definition a delusion. It is not matched by reality.
Right? That's not what you need to interrogate that definition of delusion a little bit.
Change their body so that person thinks their body now fits more like the delusion they have.
By what authority are you declaring it a delusion?
That's a good question.
It's not, okay, a delusion is anything that is believed by someone that does not match physical reality.
That is really vague, dude. True. That is a wide generalization.
So if someone believes something about reality that is untrue, that's not a delusion.
If somebody believes something
about reality and it's not true, it's a delusion.
It's not true. It's a delusion. Okay, so how do you deign to tell trans people that their gender identities aren't true then, according to reality?
It's by definition of the problem. It's trans dysphoria.
Well, but definitionally, we can, like, words mean whatever we want them to mean. We can change the meaning of words to serve.
We are not going to do this, right, dude? We're not going to all of a sudden make an argument about
arguments are bad.
This is part of the argument, so I'm not really sure.
Are important. We'll just change the meanings of words, dude. This is.
Skylar, it's part of the argument. I can't help that you're getting frustrated by it. It's part of my position. If you want to have a conversation, I need to be able to actually share my position to you.
Well, okay, if then we'll be unable to communicate. If you can't accept basic definitions like what gender dysphoria is, why are we having a conversation about it?
But because I don't know what basic definitions mean. I don't know what accept basic definitions.
Dictionary definition.
The dictionary doesn't agree with you in this regard. It agrees with me. So I don't think you want to appeal to that authority, which would be a false one anyways.
Okay, what's the dictionary definition?
Of gender?
You said it would disagree with me? Hold on. Because on the website here, hold on.
The website.
Oh, here it is on the mail. Okay, why is it done? Feminizing hormone therapy is used to change the body's hormone levels. Those hormone changes trigger physical changes that help better align the body with the person's gender identity. That's what they're choosing.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck point he's trying to make here, because, like, you could just say appendix surgery is done to alleviate the pain caused by an inflamed appendix. Like, he's just, that's what he's doing. He's reading off the fucking, like, definition of the procedure. So I don't know what point he's trying to make. And then he's going to go on and, like, describe I do get, like, I love this fucking trick.
Is that they are the
and I will keep this one.
Bro.
I think I'm doing it right now. Because I already know where he's going.
To try to transition to what we call a woman.
Well, not everybody
characteristics of a woman. Not everybody, I know. But back to my point.
Well, you said why would a like an assigned male at birth
No,
I'm trying to clarify. I'm trying to clarify to understand.
I want to go back to my point. It's a
okay, fine.
So that's
he's so triggered now, and like I'm calming down a little bit. He needs to calm down too.
Regular psychiatry, right? If someone's gonna kill themselves for whatever reason,
maybe
right?
he's
because they don't want, like you say, they don't want to go through puberty, right? Because they have this, like, why don't? Here, let me ask you that question. You said they don't want to go through puberty. Why?
Because for some of them, because they're gender dysphoric.
Okay, but what does that mean?
Well, that means that they realize that their gender identity doesn't correspond with the physical body that they currently have.
Oh, so it doesn't correspond to reality.
No.
That's exact.
Okay,
but if they alter their body and then their body is physically altered, is it not?
I think he's trying to appeal to material reality, which he should address. But the problem is that like material reality contains the brain, and the brain is where like your concept of gender is hosted. So he's still wrong. Even if I could understand what he's trying to get at.
Not a real body? Like, I don't understand this. It seems really arbitrary, the standard you're applying.
This is just opinionating. You're just giving me your opinion.
So are you.
That's
We're just having a discussion about our opinion.
That wasn't. No, I'm telling you how the process works. Right?
Okay.
And then you're questioning the process.
He's telling me how the process.
Not the process. And then you're questioning the definition of what a trans person is. Or someone with trans dysphoria.
No, I can define I can tell you how I like identify a trans person very easily.
I don't care about your personal definitions.
Then why? So
1984?
I think it's really fucking stupid. Yeah, and he's gonna do the 1984 thing. I do think it's fucking stupid of him to go, you can't define it. And then when I say, actually, I can, he says, well, I don't care about it. Like, even if I can define it with like personal subjective definitions, you can still use those and interrogate those to arrive at a common understanding. Like, he's just being obstinate here. He's not interested in hearing me. He's not interested in hearing me talk. Like, which again, I came in so fucking hot. So it's not surprising why he's basically done with me.
I saw you mention this. Have you?
No, I know, but have you?
I saw you mention this.
Yes, and I'm part of Inkstock.
On Twitter too. And part of Inkstock.
What kind of an appeal is that?
But you understand that's what they were doing. That's the problem.
No.
Right? That's what his job was. He had to. They literally changed.
That is what they were doing. That was the problem. Why did you say no?
Right? Because it conflates arguments.
Why am I doing the same thing? Where I'm just like, oh no, I'm gonna be obstinate dick weasel.
When people use language, just like when I talk to Christians, you're not a Christian, right? I debate Christians all the time on their religion.
Poorly, by the way. Poorly. He is not a good debater.
With the Bible,
again,
or using scripture
I'm not just saying
actually,
that.
Like, are they using language that isn't actually Christian? Right? I can recognize that.
Yeah.
And
see, he does that thing. He does the Elder Drazi thing where he's like, well, you're doing the wrong version of Christianity, or you're doing Christianity wrong, or like, and it's so stupid because like in practice, in the real world, that's not how Christians work, right? Mormons consider themselves the only true Christians, and you could argue that they're incredibly far from what's originally biblical. But like, does that affect them and their internal schemas and beliefs? No. So like, what's the point of appealing to that? If you want to deconvert a fucking Mormon, why would you go, well, you're not living according to the Bible. You know, it says, let no man add or detract here. And it seems like the Book of Mormon is a pretty hefty, like, what the fuck? No, it's really stupid. I don't like the internal appeals to religion. And this is part of my problem with like, part of the reason that like I struggle. I don't go into religious debates actually trying to like deconvert anyone. It's more just having a conversation about their thought process and why they think the way they do. But like, fuck, like it's you can't go in and like fucking be hyper aggressive like against fucking oh, I lost my train of thought. Hold on. We're gonna get on a new train. Christians. Blah blah blah. Streaming sucks. I can't edit this shit out. Oh, yeah. It doesn't make any fucking sense if you're trying to deconvert Christians or if you're trying to debate Christians, why are you using like the religion's internal inconsistencies against them when every Christian is hard-lined against atheists use like that argument they know, okay? They know the whole, like, it's a meme in Christian, like, groups, right? The fucking, oh, don't you know that God kills babies? Isn't that mean? Like, they make fun of us for that shit. So it's like, why would you lean into it, right? It's like it's like the fucking, conservatives who are like, damn, I wish pride parades didn't have all these weird shit going on. Like, I wouldn't mind it so much if, like, everybody just kind of kept their dicks in, and then, well, I'm gonna wear literally nothing in the pride parade because that'll show the conservative. Like, why the fuck?
It's like I have to call them out. It's like, dude, we're talking past each other if I don't know what you mean or what you're trying to tell me. If I'm saying something you don't know what I mean, right? And it's just, you know, and it's also a political idea. You're using it in politics. Right. That's the thing. It's more, you're using it politically, like 1984. And that's more my issue with you trying to redefine words for your own political agenda.
The political agenda that I would have in that regard would be to make people happy. So I would see that as a noble goal.
Well, then why you don't want to make the woman who doesn't want to be in a locker room with a biological
just
male
in the
happy?
way that I wouldn't necessarily care about making the girl who complained about the black girl drinking water next to her happy. I don't care about making bigots happy. I care about making marginalized people happy.
Ew.
How would you define a bigot?
I would define a bigot as anyone who
fuck
is
you.
prejudiced against.
Fuck you, you fucking weak ass bitch. Weird lib-cucked ass fucking leftoid brain fucking wokelet shit. No, fuck you. You care about making the world a better place. And whether that means eliminating transphobia by, like, broadly discouraging it in society, or whether that means fucking telling off fucking weird trans people for, like, trying to, like, get kids to start on hormone therapy just because they played with a fucking doll. Like, it means making the world a better place. Okay, I hate that. That was so... That might have been the most fucking cringy thing I've said all fucking night. Oh my god.
Based on... I mean, really prejudiced against anyone or anything. But in this regard, probably... are you referring specifically to, like, a transphobic person? Because I know we've already gone over that. Bigot is a really...
I'm so on his side at this point.
What do you want to talk about, man? What else are you going to bring up?
No, we're not done. This is all I wanted to talk about because I don't feel like you've actually answered any of my questions here.
Well, yeah, ask away.
Well, can you answer that hypothetical that I posed to you and explain to me what the difference is?
I forgot. You're talking about the black girl at the water
Yes.
fountain?
Can you explain to me what the difference is between that situation and the locker room situation?
Yeah, one person's actually black. The other person isn't actually a woman.
No. What?
It's not a
okay,
woman.
So what? That's pretty arbitrary.
That's stupid.
So this girl's black, so it's fine, but this girl's trans.
You know what the definition of arbitrary is? That's not. You don't know what the definition of arbitrary is.
Arbitrary.
Just use that word.
Sorry, that was a joke. I was joking.
Don't flip your hair, homo.
Yeah, no, it's not. I can just say it's
I'm
arbitrary
gay.
for you to say that black people. If you want to make that same lame argument about it's just arbitrary.
It is arbitrary. No, it is arbitrary. That's what I'm saying. It is arbitrary. Yeah. But the arguments that you're making now and some of the arguments that you were making on Twitter are identical rhetorically to arguments that would have been made against desegregating schools in the 1950s. That's my problem.
I don't know if that's true. And I'm just going to, based on everything that jackass has said all night, that jackass being me, I'm going to say that he's full of shit. Me, full of shit. Don't follow that. This is going to have to be... We're going to have to I might have to take this debate down and just put this up instead. Because I am so embarrassed by this... quote unquote performance.
Well, one is dealing with real people, black
trans people are real people too. That's incredibly fucking vile. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're not real. Like a trans woman isn't a real woman.
I see. How do you figure that, sports fan?
Well,
that was a pretty fucking big oopsie on his hat.
So a woman can't have a penis
optically.
Is there certain chromosomes that are associated with women and men, right?
Well, yes, but there's,
Right. So what is that? It's XO and XY.
I believe you were told already that some cis women are XY and some cis men are XX.
Told already, as in.
So that's a weird thing.
There is two biological. There's two biological sexes.
No, sex exists along a bimodal distribution.
Yes.
Model.
Okay. Thank you. You don't know what that means because you haven't actually researched it. You just got talking points.
This.
You don't know what that means. You just got the
again,
talking point.
what was your original question?
But yes, that's
My
true.
question is why you would defer to the minority in the hypothetical situation I posed
Because
you.
one is
Who cares about the minority?
Hey, I'm a woman, but yet still have
Hey, I'm
all the
white. I'm hurt by
biological
this.
parts.
See, and if
person drinking
Skylar was
water
a
near me.
fucking good debater, he could have fucking pounced on that. Can you imagine fucking like Destiny or fucking Lonerbox or fucking, I don't know, fucking anybody like who knows half of their shit? Hearing me say that, hearing me unironically go, I defer to the minority. Like, oh my god, evil cackles and like, dude, I want to rip myself apart for that. Oh, you defer to the minority, huh? Well, in Nazi Germany, you know, like, fucking ridiculous. It's like, ooh, and fucking in South Africa, you know, white Dutch settlers were a minority. You fucking side with them? Interesting. It was in 47, 48, Jews were fucking minority. What about them? Like, it's so easy. It's so easy. The only thing I can hope from watching this is that I never make any of these mistakes ever again. But what I'm worried about is that I make them every day without even realizing it, because I don't have the opportunity to watch back through my shit like this.
I have nightmares about it. It bothers me. It freaks me out. I'm afraid for my life.
I can't help you if you missed the point, bro.
No, you're the one missing the point here.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to answer your question. Do you have another one? You just don't like the
No,
answer.
you still haven't really answered me satisfactorily on what the difference
is.
is.
That's fine. Then you can ask a different question because I'm not going to answer it again.
I mean, I don't know where to go from here.
Okay, we can just say goodbye then.
That's up to you. I'm perfectly willing to
I
keep
really
talking.
want to turn it off. Can I just turn it off here? Can I say goodbye?
Why don't you ask me a question?
I don't have a question for you.
Why would he have a question
don't have
for
any
you?
questions for me?
No. I've went over.
Okay, then fine. I have a question.
See, I start talking and you interrupt.
I'm sorry. That was me. I'm sorry.
All right. So the one I wanted to bring you on was just once again to show you like how far like people like you go when you go right to call people transphobes. You have no clue about my history. You get upset with one thing I said, right? You saw me arguing. I can guarantee you I've done more for fucking the LGBT.
Oh my god.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I organized in real life.
Right?
Isn't that what you're doing right now?
You're on Twitter, yeah. Yeah. Because I asked you to debate this particular topic. I'm not fucking trying to fight for trans issues right now, or am I?
Well, clearly not.
I already think they should have rights. Yeah, I already think they should have rights, asshole. Right?
I might just take this debate down because I just realized that I'm not recording this.
Your rhetoric.
I might just publish the VOD. I don't know. I hope that I didn't blow my mic.
If you're really
out
in favor of like promoting rights for trans people,
what have you done? What have you done?
Okay, this is a ridiculous argument.
You're saying rhetoric is more important. Like, not as important as action, right?
I didn't say that. That seems to be what you're implying. That's
okay. Is
not what I
action
said.
more important than rhetoric? What's more important, action or rhetoric?
For the purposes of this debate, rhetoric.
No, it's not for the. I said in general, like when you're dealing with something like fighting for trans rights, gay rights, black rights, right? What's more important, rhetoric or action?
I would say action.
Right. And that's the shit I've been doing.
Okay, cool. Thank you for your activism.
You're a social justice warrior. This is what we do. The new left. We argue on Twitter with other people, and we do debates.
You sound very triggered.
How we fight
Are you
for
okay?
fucking social justice. No, I am a little triggered actually, but look, you're borrowing them from the right there. I like it.
Borrowing from the right, dude. You sound legitimately upset. You've sounded upset this whole time.
Is that borrowing from the right?
Like, this is why I keep apologizing. I'm not trying to upset you.
First of all, you did trigger him. You did upset him. You're a jackass. I'll be right back, everybody. Fuck, this is so bad. Fuck.
Hello. Back. We can fucking. What the fuck was that? I'm back so we can suffer through this fucking garbage some more. God. Oh, God, I love it. Give it to me. Love it. I'm, like, debating whether or not I should reach out to Skylar over this because, like, unironically, I kind of feel bad about fucking, you know, my embarrassing-ass demeanor during all this.
You here. I just
want a conversation, bro. If you got a question, we can
Okay, I've got a
that.
question.
Yes.
Can you
All right.
can you give me your definition of a woman?
Yeah, I define women as a woman would be an adult human female.
Oh, okay. So
Oh my God, you can hear. I already started talking. Knew what he was gonna
kids
say,
that are
but
like
you can't
under
jump on it
18
like
but
that.
are assigned female at birth, are they not like considered women then?
What?
Like,
Say that again. You didn't follow my definition. I said adult.
yeah, you
human
said
woman.
adult.
You said, oh, what is a woman? An adult human
Yeah,
female.
yeah.
I'm sorry. An adult human
Yeah.
female is what a woman is. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What's your question? Follow up
Okay,
question.
so then so you draw the line at adult at like 18 then, I'm assuming?
I don't have a particular age. I'm just.
Well,
using
then
that-
when does someone
biological
turn
sense.
from a
Wait,
girl
okay, what's
into
the
a
relevant?
woman?
I don't know. Why are we going?
Well,
like,
this
what's
definition
the
is
difference?
completely untenable if we break it down bit by bit, which is what
That's
I'm
an
attempting to do
opinion.
here.
Okay. Well, okay. And then can we go through your definition of a woman and I
Sure.
can show you why it's untenable?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Go
that,
ahead.
I would prefer
Let's do
that.
it.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Go through mine first.
Okay, well, so adult, when does someone stop being a girl and become a woman?
Let's just hypothetically say when they hit puberty.
When they hit puberty. But they're not an adult when they've started puberty. That's the process of them becoming an adult.
No, okay, let's just say 17 then. Fine. It doesn't matter.
Okay, but they're still
Let's just-
going.
I'm going to give you an arbitrary. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. It
The
doesn't
age-
matter.
The specific age doesn't matter. What is your objection to the definition?
My objection to the definition is that it's not inclusive and it doesn't include all women.
But
Oh, it's just not what
my
you want it to be.
objection is
Okay.
Well, yeah,
that it's
definitions should be what we want them to
Okay,
be.
that's great. I mean, but there's nothing I can argue with you on that, right? I get it. That's your feelings. We can move on. There's
Well,
nothing
you
I can
said
argue
you
with
wanted to
that.
interrogate my definition.
Okay, yeah. What's your
A
definition?
woman is anyone who identifies as a woman, meaning anyone who identifies with or ascribes to social characteristics commonly belonging to women.
Commonly by what standard?
Again, I'll have to review
Commonly
that,
as in,
but
like-
I can defend this for
Socially,
rhetorical
like
purposes.
this is the kinds of things that we consider to be like long dresses, jewelry, long hair. These are things that we
Are you
generally
talking-
associate with femininity and
Are you
womanhood.
talking about American culture?
I'm talking about all culture. So a trans woman in
No, I mean-
woman in like Saudi
No, that's
Arabia
not
would
true.
would
Yeah, you're
probably
not
wear
talking about
her.
all
Cultures have
culture.
all
He's
different
you
types,
should have
though.
just
All
said
types of
yes,
cultures have
but
different types of clothing.
should have said
Things don't
yes,
generally
but
related to male and female. Is the stuff you were listing like?
like I know it's in my
jewelry
head. This
or
is
like a
one of those
long
things
Yeah,
where it's
sure.
like I'll
or
learn how
something
to
like that.
communicate
So
better as I
don't-
get
you're saying-
along.
so
Like I'm just
basically what
learning
your
like
definition
logical
is
flows and
my
shit.
definition of a woman is
fuck?
American characteristics built by
No.
society and what a
Hello?
traditional woman.
No. So it's
And they have to identify.
Okay.
that. And they have to
No, the
identify
only thing they
that.
have to do is identify. Excuse me. But a woman in
God, you just
a woman in
fucker
Saudi
asshole. I
Arabia
don't
would
know
be
if
someone
I-
who ascribes to the social characteristics generally assigned to a woman in Saudi Arabia. It's not just
But good
because
luck
they
being
were. I
German
was
in
giving
Saudi
an
Arabia, am I
example.
right?
Sure, once again, you're just telling me that what a woman is someone who identifies
Yeah.
as a woman,
Bro,
and
shit
that woman
joke.
is trying to follow characteristics of society is put.
Yeah.
Mining for
Useless
someone
definition.
It's not
who
Doesn't help
useless.
with anything. Well, I mean, it might be useful to you. It's just
Well, it's
not
incredibly
useful
useful.
to me at
Describes all women.
No, why would I? Okay, by describing women in that way, how does it?
Well, what women am I Well, oh,
No. Well, that's
okay,
the
yeah.
thing.
Hold on, I'll answer your question
What's the-
because I think that
what
I think that we
information
construct
that's given-
definitions to
Hold
our
on.
words.
What is the
Okay.
specific information that it gives me that I wouldn't have by
Those
using
things
that
are-
definition?
It
Dwarf,
includes
whatever they
trans
are.
women. It includes anyone who is in like an intersex condition, but decides to go more towards the female end of the spectrum.
It's just about inclusion. That's all.
Well, yeah, that's what our definition should be, shouldn't
Okay.
it?
I just
No,
don't
they
accept
should be
it.
about accuracy,
No, we
but
could argue that,
that,
which is
yeah,
a different
you're missing
I mean,
part of the
okay.
argument there.
I think it's a silly definition. I mean, it's up to you. You can feel
Well,
however
that's
you
not
want
really an
about it.
argument.
It's not.
That
It's
is
not an argument. I'm
true.
not trying to. That's what I'm
It
saying.
is
I'm not going to argue
not.
opinions with you, right? I'm not going to argue what movie's the best movie with you or the best music, what's the best band with you.
Is this
right?
thing
We all have our own
horrible?
favorites. We all have our, it is. We all have our own favorites.
How do
Your
the
opinion
babies
that
have
we
more
shouldn't define
help?
Words like this Okay,
This is.
it's not objective.
This seems like a really
I
kind
do
of
play Skyrim
cowardly
in the most
retreat.
like
Didn't we
cringe
come on here to
boomer
discuss
way.
our
Oh,
opinions?
so now
I've been
we're
playing this
getting
game
towards,
literally
like,
since
Well,
it came out.
I don't know.
opened my
I'm-
I'm just
back up.
confused at this
Do
point.
you want to bring the
Hope nobody
conversation?
You ask me a
back up?
question.
Aggressive?
You ask me a question about my position. I answer it, and then you go, "Well, this is
called
just
ad
silly.
hominem.
This is just silly."
Short-
Definitely my
That's fine.
stimmy
Set up.
game. Although
It's not
man,
ad hominem.
starting
This is
on
how I
I'm
feel
telling you
sitting
my
here
opinion.
confused.
Sure.
Okay,
Okay.
well,
You
needs
told
to
me you're
engage. Hopefully I
confused.
can
I
read
can't help you with your
books.
confusion. Right? I can't help
Actually,
you
you
understand
know
why
what? Fucking very specific shout out. I know he'll never see it, but I want this on record. Hearing Destiny talk about his son and then him starting on Adderall, talking about explaining ADHD, led to me researching it on my own, how it functions in the brain. Me discarding my sort of, I'll admit, kind of conservative trad, like sort of like gung-ho, like just muscle through it. You don't need the meds. You're just being lazy, whatever, because I had that exact same mindset. Hearing Destiny, who's a, you know, guy I respect, whose opinions I respect, talk about it as a positive, having a positive impact for him, and then observing it directly on his streams. I am, I don't know. For the first time in like 6 years, I took another look at medicating my ADHD, and who knows? I have never medicated my ADHD when I am not actively like at school. Because the last time I did it, I was in college. But now that I'm doing all of this stuff, hopefully it helps me with that. So anyways, yeah, shout out to Destiny for making me do drugs. That's what I'm saying. Yep.
A definition that has no particulars besides saying I identify as a woman. Because even the cultural aspects change.
Yeah.
Right? You're trying to.
That's why the definition continues
hold
to have
on,
utility.
I'm not fucking finished talking. I'm gonna have to put you back every time. You keep interrupting, right? So.
I'm not going to be one of those people, by the way, with my streams. That will not happen.
But
I will not be putting on
it has
mute.
it applies
muting.
nothing to me in life to help me understand
I
anything
don't
about women
care
by just saying a woman is
how
anybody who
big the
identifies
audience
as a woman.
gets, how annoying the
All it
person
tells me is
gets.
somebody identifies as a woman.
I
That's all
will
it
just
tells
sit there and
Yeah,
wait
but don't
patiently
all
for
women
them to
identify as
stop
women?
talking unless they go on for an unreasonable amount of
It
time.
doesn't tell me anything.
Well,
But I'm not going to mute
What-
someone.
what-
Well,
what do
you know
mean?
what?
I
Yeah,
don't
everything I
understand.
said
Are
was
you
really
accusing it of being
fucking
a
Hey, do you
circular
think- do you
definition
think
by
all-
chance?
everything. Oh my god, you can hear like my dick getting harder under the table. I'm like, ooh, can you hear it? Circular definition? Oh, I'm so ready to defend it. I should clarify what I was, talking over. My policy on stream will be that I will only mute you if the conversation cannot proceed forward. And that would be specifically if every time I try to make a point, you're just talking over me and interrupting me. But outside of that, and if you're doing like TOS stuff, not need you for that. But like generally speaking, I find it way funnier to if you have deranged people in your stream to not mute them, to let them just sort of like, schizo rant or whatever into your your fucking stream. And then when they're done with that, then you just do the Destiny thing and you just go, okay, so my question is still blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
I'm saying your definition has no use to it. There's nothing that I can use it for in any context that's going to be helpful.
Okay,
well, so
you can
there's
point
another
to
tack
that's
we can go
stupid.
down
You can
here.
point
What
to
is a
woman.
chair?
Do you want a dictionary?
Yeah.
No, I want
Alright,
you
that's
to
a lot.
describe
Yes,
to me what
see,
to
this
you
is what
as
I
a
mean
chair.
this is what I mean when I say I could still defend these positions. Because like the logic flows, the problem is they're so internet brained, right? These are such internet pilled takes that like you take them out in the real world with, let's be honest, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Skylar could be more of an internet person. I don't know. But if I like fucking took this out to like my fucking like local Democrats meeting, they would like, I genuinely don't know how they would react, but I would not be surprised if it was not super positively, because a lot of this shit is like so weird. With regards to like normal fucking human conversation. So I don't know. This is what I meant earlier too, when I was saying I don't know if I still hold these positions. I'm really introspected on them much, because it's the positions that I find the most convincing are the ones that are most like logically, rationally consistent, and also backed up by the most like scientific data and research. It's just like, I know that sounds like the most fucking like fedora tippy thing ever, but like I mean it's true. I think that's the best way to like arrive at a truthful position. So I haven't, I know that like the that fucking suicidality study was way smaller. Turned out it was way smaller than like I think I had the impression of. And again, I should have fucking actually read the damn study before shooting my mouth off like I did in this debate. But yeah, so like that was the one, right? That's the only one that I've like gone back in on. So like I have to go back in on this shit. I have to like start like actually thinking about this trans shit again, because it's gonna be relevant, right? It's gonna be relevant for a while, and I want to make sure my position on it is ground out. I don't want to be caught off guard with it. And it's really stupid, like especially since one of the first debates on my channel, the one that I think technically might have the most views right now, is about like trans issues. It would be really fucking dumb if like, you know, someone in the future is like, hey, what's your trans position? I'm like, I don't know. So
Share is I'm gonna read the definition. This is just silly. I don't sit there and argue my subjective opinions about things, bro. Right? Like when I have debates, I want to debate the facts. Right? I don't want to sit there and play these games.
Well, so the problem in this regard would be the facts are on my side in regards to gender and sex being different.
You should look at the facts before you say that, you jackass. I know you haven't. I know you haven't looked at the facts. I know you haven't. Because I'm you.
Okay.
Right? I know gender is a made-up concept that people have created.
Yes.
Right? Sex, biological sex is something we can measure in a lab.
Yes, but it's also an arbitrary distinction that we draw.
It doesn't matter. Everything's an arbitrary distinction.
Yeah.
By that
No, it is. No, it is.
So then there's no point to saying it's arbitrary if everything else is arbitrary.
Well, there is, to illustrate that you
it's
taking
like,
such onus over the distinctions
arbitrary.
that we do draw is like irrational. When everything is really arbitrary, why is changing our definition such a big deal?
You're saying everything. You're just saying everything's arbitrary.
You agreed with me everything is arbitrary.
No, I don't.
Then what
I
isn't?
said by your definition. No, I said by the way you're defining it, everything is arbitrary. It's not that I agree everything's arbitrary. I'm using, like, I'm thinking about the situation using facts. You're
what facts?
Redefining words.
What facts?
Like redefining words. All right, let's get. You want to switch to a different topic?
No, I want you to tell me what facts I'm not using. Okay. I like being a smart person and like having correct opinions.
That's such a lie.
I want you to actually have a dialogue with me, because if I'm...
And it's so dumb because like that's genuinely where I'm at right now, but I know for a fact when I said that I was just parroting it because I had heard Vosh say it, who had just heard Destiny say it, but didn't actually live by it, and I lived by the fucking example of that idiot, so I didn't live by it. So yeah, no,
I'm wrong.
I'm big time outing myself in a lot of this shit, but like being honest about this is way more important to me. This is cringy as fuck. I'm embarrassed about my performance here.
I'll change my position. Like, I'm willing to change my position.
This was also before I really got involved in like politics GG and like DGG, and like I really got like interacting with different groups of different people and like learning how to like hone my rhetoric and stuff. So like a lot of that is showing through too. I would have been so fucking bullied in politics for some of this shit. Jesus. I must not have been in there yet.
When we go to, like, when we come up with, I am encountered with new ideas that I can't counter, I'm perfectly willing to do that.
Statement, right?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
You agree with the statement by Carol, gender is a made-up concept?
Sure.
Right? Carol, so you can quote him too. My opponent that I'm talking with agrees. Do you disagree that gender is a made-up concept? Carol?
Oh, sorry.
No,
sorry.
You don't disagree. Yeah. I just had to read some of these things. It's always fun.
Why am I drinking a soda when I knew I was not feeling well? I'm such an idiot. I really am.
All right. You have another question?
Yeah. What facts are you appealing to that I'm not?
What does that mean?
Most of the time, I haven't been just giving you my opinion. Right, when we were talking about feminism and hormone therapy.
Yeah, I acknowledge that there.
Yeah. Of the dangers of what we can go through, the dangers of that, how it affects children. We talked about. I acknowledged all the facts of how the process worked. Right, I literally broke down what the reason was, what the
for puberty blockers you're talking about. Just make sure I'm following.
No, feminizing hormone therapy. So there's a bunch of different medications used for.
Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware.
Okay, so. don't know. It just felt like.
Well, I was talking
You want to
about
talk about the
puberty
risk real quick?
blockers?
Let's talk about the
Can I
risk.
get the fucking other
Blood
camera
clots
going
in
here?
deep veins or in the lungs. Heart problems. High levels of triglycerides.
Oh
types
yeah,
of
he's
fat in
doing the
blood.
thing. Is this
High
where I
levels-
go for
high levels
the?
of
Yeah,
potassium
this
in
isn't
blood.
Those
really.
sound like
stupid, but
potentially
hormone.
like
he
fatal
should
side
not be doing
effects. Yeah, you know what else is
Oh,
fatal?
look.
Yeah, hold on, I'm not-
Killing
I'm not-
yourself.
Nipple, I'm not. Yeah, you know what? That
The other
what you've
camera
done is
works.
you've created an even
Yay.
worse
Now
scenario,
you
right?
can
It's
see
either
me.
they kill
Yeah.
themselves or do this treatment, and that's a false
Or maybe
dichotomy,
boo, I
right?
don't know.
Because there
What's
are
the
other
third
options that
option?
can get you. Hold on, right? Don't
What
pull
is
an
the
argument
third
from
option?
ignorance.
What's the third option?
That's the-
Skylar.
No, I'm asking
hold on,
now.
dude. Okay, now I know. Okay, I'm gonna put you backstage again. You're
He's
an
gonna
asshole
put me on
for
hold
interrupting
again.
what I'm saying to you.
You need to keep
All right?
your mouth shut, you little
So,
ADHD freak.
When you say something like that, to people,
You
what's
need
the
to
third option?
medicate.
That is by definition.
See, and
an
I used to think
argument
that
from
was like
ignorance.
part of the style. I was like, oh,
You
I'll just
have
lean
to, if
into
you're gonna
that.
Make the claim, and this is the claim that you made, which is either these kids are going to commit suicide, or we give them these medical treatments. That's the claim you made. Now, are you going to make that a true dichotomy? Or are you going to agree there could possibly be other options that you're not aware of?
As a skeptic, I always acknowledge that there are possibilities that I'm not aware
I
of.
have never wanted
However,
to punch
you're the
myself
one who
more.
is arguing against the common medical consensus as to how people, specifically teens, with gender dysphoria should be treated. So the burden of proof is on you, my
Do you have a
friend,
paper for
not
that?
me.
Because that's not what I've read the papers. These papers aren't necessarily saying what you think they're saying. What they, in fact, most of it, what it is, it's about how the parents treat the kids, actually. And it's actually part of it. I think it's part of this thing we
Okay.
have right here. Hold on.
Because he's just vaguely appealing to the papers, the things. I don't know what he's referring to here, but I think this is a case of him not knowing how right he is, because he is right. I have no idea what the fucking research actually said here when I was here. God, that was a horrible spot to pause on. So yeah, just learn from my mistake, everyone. Don't talk
I
out
want
of
to
your
go through with
fucking
the
ass
symptoms.
like
I want to
this.
continue. You cut me off when I was reading. I wasn't finished, by the way. It's still a long line of complications that come from giving children, kids, teens, medical and stuff. Type 2 diabetes.
Again, yeah, this is what I mean.
They
Very,
can
very
develop
low
type 2
tier quality
diabetes
of
before
argument.
being a fucking adult because they're not happy with the
It's
body.
like, yeah,
that
you
they
can
are.
see me looking up the side
A
effects of
stroke.
fucking like Tylenol
Let's
or
see.
whatever here, because like Tylenol, one of the rare side effects is you can bleed out the eyes.
Feminizing hormone therapy may have increased risk of breast cancer when compared to cisgender men.
So many fewer people would
Men
take
whose
Tylenol if
cisgender
they knew
aligns with
that.
social norms
Jesus.
related to their sex assigned at birth, but the risk is not greater than that of cisgender women. To minimize risk, the goal of people thinking about feminizing hormone therapy is to keep hormone levels in the range that's typical of a cisgender woman. Now that's interesting, right? Why is the goal of the therapy to change the physical body to a cisgender woman?
Because they're trans.
Well, if it's someone who is a trans woman, then that makes sense, doesn't it?
It just means they want it.
Well,
Right.
yes, because it makes them happy.
So should people? So just because somebody desires something, right, views that their body should be something that it's not. Same thing as anorexia, right? Anorexia.
Oh
follows
my
the
god,
same
I'm
pattern.
so ready for this
Someone
one.
who
Okay, no, it's not. This is an argument that I can actually make now. No, it's not. The difference here is that when trans people when anorexic people rather look in the mirror, they see something else, something outside of reality. They see themselves as enormously fat, right? And they think they need to starve themselves in order to get their body image down. They look into the mirror and they have a delusion. They believe something that is demonstrably incorrect. Because you can point to them and go, like, you can weigh them and go, okay, no, you are severely underweight. You need to start eating. Trans people look in the mirror, see their reflection, and that's the problem. They see their reflection, they understand it, they recognize it, they know, they see the discongruity with how they feel. That's the difference there. There's a huge, there's such a this is what I mean when I'm like, it sucks that this was one of my first big opponents, because he is such a low-tier debater, low quality of arguments, that all that's happening is my dick is getting jerked here while my ego is reinforced. Whereas what I needed was somebody to put me in my fucking place.
Is anorexia believes they're overweight, right? They have the delusion that they're overweight, that they're eating too much.
I don't even.
right?
I
And they
do
starve
not think I knew how to argue
right?
this at the
The
time.
difference in transgender is we just.
I
give them
remember
medication,
hearing this for the
or
first
we do
time on a
physical
Destiny panel.
surgeries
So
that
like
alter
the
them.
proper rebuttal.
Well,
So
the difference actually would be that leaving people with anorexia to live their life as they see is the correct way to live it would result in their deaths, whereas denying trans people the way that they want to live their lives is what results in their deaths.
that's really
you're just literally theorizing what people will do.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
There are
probably
statistics
steel
to back
man
this up.
version of
There
that.
are
Like,
people
that's what
dying
we-
because of this.
There are lots of reasons trans kids will commit suicide, right? It's not specifically because they don't look like the opposite
No,
sex.
it's because their
It's
families
more about,
don't
It's more
accept
about
them.
now. Yeah, I know that's the fucking.
But
issue,
your language
right? No,
contributes
shut
to a
the fuck up for a
societal.
second.
Yep.
Jesus,
Oh
shut
my
the fuck up
God.
for a
Good
second.
argument.
This is the point, right? This is the shit you should be fighting for, which is you fight for the kids in these right-wing goddamn religious families that are telling them they're wrong. But what the solution is not
his behavior, his
going
language
and
reinforces
changing
that
these
if he's
kids
doing
and teens'
transphobic shit,
physical
by the
body
way, so
to change a delusion that they have about themselves. One that could cause type 2 diabetes, heart disease, stroke. Dude, think about what you're
This
saying.
medication can cause red, peeling, or blistering skin, rash, hives, itching, swelling of the face, throat,
What I mean
tongue,
by
lips,
low-tier arguments,
eyes,
if
hands,
me
feet,
at this
ankles, or
stage
lower
can,
legs, hoarseness, and difficulty breathing or
deconstruct them.
swallowing. Why would anyone take that? Oh, it's because it's Tylenol. Every medication has side effects. Every single one.
The difference
You
is
weigh the
Tylenol,
benefits
you're
of taking
the
it versus
Tylenol,
not.
You're treating a physical
You are
headache.
drawing an
The
arbitrary
medication-
distinction
No,
here.
you are no. It is everything is arbitrary to you, so it doesn't matter. Saying the word arbitrary in front of something and saying that everything is arbitrary. Once again, just like the woman definition, you've made the word arbitrary meaningless.
I can't read Wittgenstein
Right, because
for you,
there-
dude. You got to do that yourself.
I know you can't. So you can go if you need to. But here's the thing,
What?
right? The difference is someone actually has a like a thing in their brain.
I
that's
heard
physically
someone
hurting,
say
right?
something
So they
similar.
have to take the
I
medication.
can't read
in
Wittgenstein,
order
but
to-
neither of
just in
you,
case,
jackass.
Right? You don't have to take the medication
Gosh.
in order to solve trans.
Yeah, I haven't read
suicide,
Wittgenstein
like you
for the record
falsely
either.
put up
Cocaine.
as a
I don't
false
know what the fuck I
dichotomy.
was
You
appealing
wanna
to there.
just go,
That was
hey,
incredibly
let's
out of my
fucking
ass.
change
What a
kids'
jackass.
bodies, right? This is a better solution. Let's change the kids' bodies to the delusion, right? Why wouldn't you say that to an anorexic person? Why would you say, oh no, yeah, you are fat, right? Why would you want to like honor what they believe? Because what? Just because it hurts them? Because it might be hurting them? Is that the arbitrary reason? Right? If we want to call everything arbitrary? Go ahead.
May I ask you a question? Are you a medical
ahead.
doctor?
No, I'm not a scientist either.
Okay, well, neither am I.
I haven't studied I'm not a theologian.
Well,
either.
I mean,
I know how to
honestly,
study
you
the
might
topic.
be
Man, okay,
qualified
so what
to
I'm about to
consider
say here
yourself
is real
one if you've
dumb,
read
and
the
I will have
Bible
to
enough
interrupt
times.
it.
I honestly don't know how much those guys know beyond how to
Yeah.
read Hebrew and Greek beyond that, but
Well, to be clear today, when you ask me if I'm a doctor, I'm the one who's brought up scientific research. from the
Medical
male
doc-
side.
well,
You
yes.
and you brought up no actual scientific research.
Two
on this
idiots
side.
gibbering at
And
each
he dated it
other.
all to argue
It
any of
really
the points that
is.
you've made. What's the point you're trying
so
to
first
look
of all,
up for me
I'll
right
just
now?
remind you
Make
that
sure
I
we don't
wasn't,
even
I
disagree
wasn't
real
asked
quick.
to I wasn't asked to prepare anything.
It's called a debate, bro. You prepped for a debate.
I prepped what I was asked to
Yeah.
prepare.
I'm not your fucking like life coach where I'm
So
gonna
this
tell
is
you everything
this
you
is
do.
mayoclinic.org. This is the gender dysphoria page, and talking about how to treat it. Medical treatment of gender dysphoria might include hormone therapy, such as feminizing hormone therapy or masculinizing hormone therapy, surgery, such as feminizing surgery or masculinizing surgery, to change the chest, external genitalia, internal genitalia, facial features, and body contour. This is the website that you appealed to before, and now it's agreeing with me. So my question to you
Whoa,
would...
whoa.
What?
What do you think? I don't disagree with anything you just read.
Okay.
He doesn't.
It's telling you how they treat
Your
it.
language,
And this is-
everything you've argued
no,
up to this
dude,
point has been in spite of that.
Dude, you can't either follow me or what I'm saying. I literally was reading from the website. We were talking about what was on the
Yeah.
website, dude.
Like the side effects of feminizing hormones, right?
Yeah. So and then you're saying I'm denying something. All you did was describe.
So okay, so
What are you-
well,
what was the
okay,
point of
I'll tell
reading
you,
that
I'll tell you. I'll make it very, very plain because
Jesus,
sorry.
man.
Well, okay, for full disclosure, I'm autistic, so sometimes I connect thoughts in ways that make sense to me,
Why
but not
are
to
you
everyone
doing
else. Ask
this?
my partner. It
Dude,
happens
I'm
all
so
the time.
cringe.
The
Why?
reason that I wanted to pull this up
I would
was
bully
because
me
acknowledging
now.
that neither you nor I are a medical doctor, I think that it's in our best interest to broadly defer to the medical consensus. And the medical consensus for treating gender dysphoria seems to be using the hormone therapy that you're
Okay,
so against.
wait. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, I don't. That's not true. It's not about deference to the medical consensus. It's about not having the qualifications to approach the medical consensus and debunk it. You can still be suspicious of the medical consensus, but I don't think that you get to just say it's wrong unless you have the skill set available to, like, the cringy, like, oh, well, when you publish your article in Nature, let me know, but like unironically. Like, I think that, like, you can make assessments as a layman and go, well, as a layman, it seems like there's some shady shit going on here, but I'm no expert. And I think that acknowledging your lack of knowledge is always the correct thing to do. But I don't think you should ever just engage in deference to anyone. And why I thought that.
But if you have another option, if you want to challenge
Shouldn't
the medical
engage in
consensus,
deference
then
in
I'm
that
asking
manner,
you, what are you
sorry,
challenging
not
it with?
to anyone.
Are you for, would you like to go over a list of the times the medical consensus was wrong?
Would you like to go over a list of the times it was right?
No, yeah, sure. But you would admit, by appealing to authority, by saying, hey, the medical consensus says this, and they're right because they say this, we should go with this. That's an appeal to authority.
Well,
Correct.
You're not actually, hold on. You're not actually arguing the merits of what they're saying.
Correct.
Well, I don't have the knowledge to do that, neither do you.
That's a cop-out. That's bullshit, and that's not what you're supposed to say.
And going over what they said, what their facts are. You're backing out now because you're realizing you don't know as much about this topic as you. You are.
No, I'm not.
You're like, well, you're wiggling out. You're like, I don't.
No,
know.
absolutely not. I have not moved a single inch off of my positions.
Good. So then what
Wow,
you're
you're so cool.
is the idea that.
I thought I sounded so good.
What we're changing, the whole concept is, and this is the concept I object to, right? Is that we are having children, teens, preteens. We are affecting their bodies. We are changing them to look like something they imagine of societal standards. And your argument for why we should go this methodology or go this route, this type of medical treatment, besides saying the appeal to authority, that's just a consensus, right, is that if not, they'll kill themselves, right? That is a false dichotomy. You haven't demonstrated that, right? What psychiatry changes, that's it. Doctors used to actually recommend cigarette smoking.
Yeah, I know they were wrong on that one, but doctors also
wrong
recommend
on this?
antipsychotic medication for people with schizophrenia, and I think they're pretty fucking right. Did you see what happened to Kanye? Like, I think sometimes doctors get it right. This is a very, but again, this is.
Are you aware of when this started? Like when we're talking about the medications, when they started giving the children the types of like therapies we're doing here for transgender people?
Am I aware? Can you be a little bit more specific?
No, it's okay. Go ahead. What are you
Can you be a little bit more specific?
based.
Which therapy, which treatment specifically?
No, Skylar's based for that one.
I'm not familiar with the history. No.
Why would let me ask you this? Why would it be good for someone who's transitioning to a woman to have less orgasms?
So, why does a gender identity just boil down to sex to you? That's kind of
Agreed.
Well, no,
That's
this
weird.
is one of the things it does, the medication.
Well,
It lowers the
sure.
amount of
For
orgasms
some
you
women,
have.
But I know
others,
many
no.
trans women, and trust me, it's not always the case.
Yeah,
Like
my
all
trans friends all
medications,
seem
it
to have
varies from
fucking
person to
problem with
person.
it, so
Yeah, that's not dealing with one. But why would
it's anecdotal
somebody
but true.
want to do that?
Well, if it's that, or they have a much
It's not a side effect. That is part of what the
okay,
effects
sure.
are.
If it's that,
Not
or
listed
they
as a
have a
side
higher risk of suicide, then I think that the weighing the odds.
You haven't shown that. That's
I
a false
actually, so I've
dichotomy.
been working, so again, because I wasn't told to prepare anything, I didn't. However, I have a study right here, Association of Gender Identity Acceptance with Fewer Suicide Attempts Among Transgender and Non-Binary Youth.
Perfect. Put that in the chat real quick so I can
Yeah,
pull
How
it.
many kids were in that study, dude? How big was that study?
Sorry, I have to navigate full screen.
That's all right. It's okay. I wish there was an easier way. There is an
And
internal.
do you
Connect
have
here.
any
there's
more?
the
If I
chat.
throw it in the
You probably-
private
you
chat,
can-
can you like
Yeah,
throw it in
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
public one? Because I'm
Yeah. That's
I didn't set that up beforehand. I apologize.
No, that's all right.
So this
Yeah. Okay. Well, open link a new tab. Let me close some of these freaking tabs before my computer starts going crazy. Okay. So this is libertypub.com.
okay.
Okay. This is I don't even know what kind of website this is, but let's read it. Okay, we don't
I just
have-
learned this morning. That doesn't fucking matter because that's not the source, that's the publisher. Figure out what the actual fucking source is, and the source is the actual fucking study. I don't know what that was. That was the weird like oh, this came from Fox News, like just proves how media illiterate you can be.
Okay. Purpose. There's nothing on this way. It's just
so if you read the under abstract, it says results. Each category of adult and pure gender identity acceptance was associated with lower odds of a past year suicide attempt.
Hold on,
yeah, and then I'm trying to draw the direct correlation to encourage.
And again, this is just me like Google fooing. I could prepare materials. I just didn't know I was supposed to.
Suicide, but that's not accurate. That is a
okay. Well, Andrew specifically asked me to prepare studies. You didn't. So I've been doing work to prepare for that one.
I'm not Andrew.
I understand that.
Because Andrew does something a certain way doesn't mean everyone's going to do something a certain way.
Well, I understand that, but I don't. Because I'm not very familiar with the scene, and I don't think it's unfair. I don't think it's fair to impugn me for not preparing anything when I'm not that familiar with how
Let me help you out then. Start fucking preparing. Anytime you do.
Well, I've learned now. No, trust.
You know what, Skylar? You were so right, and unironically, probably one of the best pieces of advice I've received so far, and probably one of the ones that's contributed to the most growth. It's just so funny that it came from him.
It's me. I've learned now.
Let this be a lesson learned. Okay. So what we have here on this
just as a special little gift to me,
right? We have the source, but I can't go into the source information.
Yeah, but you can read the abstract. That's.
Yeah, I don't know if this abstract is what. It's not. It's just saying something. Like, I can't verify what it says, but let's read it. Hold on. I'm gonna read it.
I don't know why you would doubt the abstract of a study, which is part of a study that's published at the top of it. That's weird. Like, I don't know why. You can get a general idea of most studies by reading the abstract and then looking at the data that they presented. You should probably read the whole thing if you are using it as a source for a debate, though. So don't take that as advice and then just read the abstract and go in with that. Don't vosh it. But generally speaking, you can get an okay idea of where the study is going just by reading the abstract and looking at the data. But your reading should never stop there. That would be like a last resort. You need to cram a bunch of studies, or somebody throws one at you in the middle of a debate.
Okay, transgender, non-binary youth report more than 4 times greater rate of suicide attempts compared with their cisgender peers. I don't disagree with that, right? The problem is you haven't connected how the surgery will solve that problem.
There is no surgery for minors.
Not surgery,
with rare exception.
Treatment. Yes, dude, treatment. The medical treatment we were talking about, you haven't connected how that treatment will solve that problem. And once again, without you can do it, you already admitted that there is a possibility you could do it without the medication.
Yeah, absolutely. So a big part of trans youth acceptance is a social transition. In fact, that's usually what most gender therapists and doctors will encourage first before even turning to medication. How do you know this?
You don't know that.
Social transition, as in like you get your family and your friends to start calling you by your chosen name and your chosen pronouns. You start dressing as the other gender, whatever your gender identity is.
Jackass.
And then eventually, if you persist on that for long enough, your doctor will put you on feminizing hormones. And these kinds of things, hormone therapy, really, really help increase social acceptance. Because unfortunately, the way that our minds work, we're not quite ready to accept the fact that someone who...
No. That's not what it is. You can't just say that. You can't just say the reason that our minds have trouble adjusting to fucking trans people's like faces that might be more masculine or feminine presenting respectively is because we're just not ready for it. No. You can't just assert that. That's so dumb. Like, that could be true, but to hear myself so boldly assert that and knowing that I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Who doesn't quite match our cis-normative view of what a man or a woman is might not be a man or a woman. We will always make these assumptions.
So fucked in the head by Demon Mama.
I've seen that have actually passed for being the opposite sex.
Then, man, you ain't looking at the right trans people. Because trust me, there's some that I can see that pass better than some cis women.
I've seen the blonde woman, right? That I think
the blonde woman.
The blonde women.
I don't know. I don't know her name. It's a blonde trans woman that's very fucking hot. For a trans woman,
what
like,
the
pretty sure she's like 19.
No, she's not.
Is it Kelly Cadigan?
What is that? I don't know. I mean, what does it matter? saying she's 19. Are you trying to say that I'm in the 19-year-old? I'm not gonna like.
No.
I'm just saying she's traditional by fucking beautiful standards, what we call society.
It's so weird.
I don't know.
What's cringe incel fedora tipping
CADIGAN if you wanted to check if that's what you're talking
leftoid
about.
Voshman versus
it's really
Reddit
not that
atheist. Right here.
I don't even know what we're talking about now.
Well, so I was.
Oh yeah, women don't. I mean, this
Yeah,
idea
that's
that
what
you're
we're gonna
that a
rename
person
this
is
debate.
makes
We're gonna
it's
keep
like
it up as a
saying,
lesson.
Oh, a woman gets breast augmentation and men.
Yeah, this is gonna stay up. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna record like a little intro for it, put it at the front, and then I will put the debate back up with a new title. I think this should stay up as a lesson. I really do, and I want this channel to be like a record of my growth. So.
And don't know they're fake tits.
I mean,
Right?
yeah.
You know they're fake tits.
Not every
Right? Just like
time.
in a trans, not every time, but as soon as you feel.
Yeah, as in you've never slept with someone, Josh, who's had fucking fake boobs before, so you've never fucking known. So, because you never slept with anyone, virgin.
Feel them, you will.
Okay, are you going? What?
You must not have felt fake tits before.
Oh, trust me, I can tell. I can tell the difference by touch, but by sight, certainly.
Why lie? Why just fucking blatantly lie? Okay, full disclosure, yeah, I've never fucking slept with a chick who's had fake boobs. I've never slept with a trans chick. So like, no, I don't know what they feel like. He's probably right. You probably can tell the difference by touch.
You can. Oh my god. Yeah. Under
Just like if you saw like a trans woman in public and she passed in every way, and then you like were dating and you took her home,
I've
then
seen
like
one or two people in my whole life that have passed that I've not.
well, this is just anecdotal. I mean, I could say every trans woman I've ever seen has passed.
Silly argument. Yeah, I get it. We're having a silly argument. It is a silly argument.
Would you agree that like starting the trans women you've seen that have passed, did they start hormone therapy early? I know Kelly Cadigan did. If that's who you're talking about, I know that's why I was trying to verify, because I know she started hormones early.
Yeah, that would like having her like that wouldn't like just say like okay she used hormones isn't like going to change my opinion on it, right? Just because she looks more like a
well, but you said
female
you've
doesn't change. It's about taking kids and having kids change their body to fight their illusion they have of what they're supposed to look
by
like.
what merit are you calling it an illusion?
We went over the definition earlier. What is it? The definition of transgender does it, right? Someone who has gender dysphoria looks in the mirror and sees themselves as a biological, whatever the opposite sex is, like sees themselves as that, has gender dysphoria, right? They are seeing reality in a way that is not true, just like an anorexic sees themselves as fat when they are not fat.
The definition, when I Google it, just says that there's someone whose gender identity differs from the one they were assigned based on their sex at birth. It has nothing to do with gender dysphoria.
Hold on. Let me get you a link. I'll get you the Mayo Clinic. We'll go back to the Mayo Clinic if I got to. Jesus, man.
Well, but I've already told you that I ascribe to the self-ID model.
Why is it done? It's right here. I'll read again. Feminizing hormone therapies.
Who
used
cares?
To change the body's hormone levels. Those hormones trigger physical change that help better align the bodies.
He says, giving himself another.
How is this proving your case that gender identities are alternative gender identities are an illusion?
It's not what we're talking about. You're straw man. You're moving.
Well, that's what you said after.
We're
so
talking about a delusion. We're talking about a delusion. Something that doesn't match reality.
That's the problem. Is like we're both idiots. Both he and I are equally stupid, and we're just yelling at each other.
Once again, they're developing less hair, right?
Hope I'm smarter
because this
now.
is how they view biological women looking under their perception, right? That's why they take the medication to deny that. That's like they don't see themselves as what they want and what they're changing their body into is ridiculous, dude. You're just being obtuse.
You're the one being obtuse. I'll ask you again, how is it a delusion? Especially if they end up altering their body through surgery or hormones to look more like their chosen gender identity.
It's not based on reality.
But what does that mean?
That's a delusion. That's what a delusion is.
So you are what it seems like you're saying.
You even gave an example earlier, and we agreed on what a delusion was. We went through this whole definition, and you agreed with me.
I don't recall this. What definition did I agree with? Can you refresh my memory?
You were talking about correspondence to reality.
That's pretty cool.
That a trans person doesn't feel their body.
I thought that it did. That's why I was trying to avoid using it, but you can't.
Someone with gender dysphoria's body. A trans person doesn't necessarily have to have gender dysphoria.
Yes. I'm talking about trans.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Okay, right? So by that definition, they are not viewing reality objectively. They don't see that their body is the correct body.
What is an objective view of reality?
Oh my, fuck you. You know what, dude? If you can't keep up,
that's a fair question.
What?
Well, so can I quantify it real quick?
Qualify.
Objective to us.
Can I just quantify real quick?
No.
Because I mentioned in DMs I'm an anti-theist, and you quote tweeted Matt Dillahunty, so I know that you're also familiar with him. I'm sympathetic to quite a few of his arguments, but above all, it's the idea of skepticism, right? So
this isn't qualifying an argument.
I am not confident enough to say that what I perceive as reality is the ultimate or objective sense of reality. So I'm asking you, what are you appealing to when you say objective reality?
Biological.
Okay, but biological sex is different from gender.
Yeah, but that's what somebody is trying to identify with. Like typically, right? If we're gonna use both terms, let's use biological sex and gender, right? Typically, there would be a biological.
Can we use one
male.
at a time?
You'll understand what I'm saying, right? Biological sex male, right? We would use the word male, or I don't know if you want to use a different word. Doesn't matter. We use a different word, right? Then if we said their gender, right, we still might use the word male, right? But when we use the word gender, what you're referring to is a societal norms about what society views of what a man or boy should be.
Correct.
Right? Okay, excellent. My overall point was that. Where were we going with this?
He wasn't expecting me to agree. Oh, fuck. Where do we go now?
What was the question you were asking? Maybe I'll pull it back around.
I was asking you what sense of objective reality you were appealing to, and you responded with biological.
Yes. So, when we talk about what that person is transitioning into, at some level is based on the biological.
Well,
right?
yes.
Because these genders are based on somewhat on the biological, like the feminine, female or masculine, whatever you want to say, attributes.
Well, right. So by taking feminizing hormones and getting body altering or undergoing gender reassignment surgery, they are altering the physical and biological reality of their bodies. Those hormones change your body chemistry. They don't just
You will never be a male. Will never be a biological woman, and a woman will never be a biological.
Okay, are you just trying to upset me now?
No, it's by definition. That's science.
Can you wait? A biological male will never be a biological female. I don't think that you have a bunch of trans women going out there and saying I can get pregnant just like normal women.
You asked me about how we measure it.
Not normal women, but
yeah. You asked me how I measure it in reality, right? Well, science can measure reality. Right, we have tools that help us measure reality. We can measure biological
More like
sex.
Dota.
Yeah, but that's not what gender is.
So, yeah, but you asked me, but you were asking me specifically how I could, in a physical reality, like how we could measure things like that.
Well, I'm asking why you're saying that being trans, like a trans identity, is a delusion, and you referred to objective reality. And then when I pressed you on that, you said, "Oh, well, their biological sex doesn't align with their gender identity," and I acknowledge that those are two separate things.
Real easy. Why do they want to? What are they trying to change?
Whatever they want. I don't give a shit.
Not really.
Yeah. No. But no, we got to be specific,
you can't
right?
say that.
Like we are talking. Like if a trans man, let's say a
Skyrim.
man wants to transition to a woman, what's the reason? Let's say they have gender dysphoria.
Well, they would be uncomfortable. I mean, so now we are running down the same train that we've run down over and over and over again.
No, because it's getting to the heart of the definition, right? What's the reason a man with gender dysphoria would want to take medications, do physical surgeries in order to change their body to look more like what a biological woman?
Because their internal perception of their gender identity more closely aligns with the perception of what we believe a woman to be in society.
An internal perception, right? But it doesn't match reality.
Well,
because in reality, they're a biological.
But it's their reality.
This is so stupid because like I could push back on this so easily. It's like, well, what is the brain? Is the brain in biological reality?
But it's not. It does. There's still reality, my man.
I don't think that we as humans can access this objective ultimate reality you're appealing to.
He's not appealing to that. He's appealing to fucking material reality. You idiot.
No one really can.
It's so easy.
Are you defining objective reality as material reality? because those are different.
Wait.
Those are philosophically distinct constructs.
You let us down a rabbit hole. Again.
I'm asking you a direct question, Skylar. Is what you
Go
mean by objective reality material reality?
Don't talk
meaning
to me like he's a child.
that
Why
which
does he
we
have to
can
respond
measure
like
by
you're talking to him like
material processes and science. Okay.
Yes.
Then in that case, I would say material reality can't be challenged on most things.
Okay.
But that's not like when you say objective reality, and this is why I wanted to press you on it a little bit and get to what you were saying, because the only other time I've heard objective reality referred to is when I'm talking with theists.
Well,
and they use the same argument. They say being trans is against objective reality. Wait, what?
Personal perception.
Holy fucking shit.
That's
Holy
why
fucking shit.
I keep having to use the word objective reality, because you just tried to dilute us into a conversation about how everybody has their own perception of reality.
Yeah, he's just getting.
That's fucking.
I can quantify these.
Sure. Yeah. I don't have to argue about people's
I can
perception of
quantify
reality.
these.
It's not what we're here for. We're talking about
No, you
reality.
can't. Stop saying quantify.
Not your fucking perception
You're not
of it.
smart.
The measurable reality that we exist in. I do want to say to my audience, listen, you're going to be upset with me. I don't give a fuck, right? I don't care if you don't like what I have to say.
Based.
I don't care. It's okay.
Based.
I don't do the channel much anymore.
Can I ask you a question to kind
Yeah.
of steel man my position a bit here? Do you think that someone who's blind experiences material reality in a way that's different to you?
Sure.
So, do you think it's fair for you to appeal to a sense of reality when you're talking to them that like you might be privy to, but they aren't?
Yes, I do think it's fair.
Okay, why?
I'm not going to handicap myself because they don't have
philosophically,
an accurate representation of reality.
Yikes.
No, what's your
that's not an argument.
I always feel like we should meet people at the conversation, but
Wait a minute. Was that like a yikes over using the word handicap?
well, no, it was more of a yikes where I'm not going to limit myself to their perception just because they're blind. Like that's how that came across.
No, right? Like, oh yeah, let me give you an example, right? I'm not going to be racist when I'm around racist people. Or if someone says
That's
something
not
racist.
that's not analogous.
That's an ignorant. That is someone
analogous.
who has a false perception. Well, it's not even. It's really an opinion. I guess I couldn't say it's a false perception of reality. But let's say that I have actually, my grandmother went through where your mind deteriorates.
Dementia.
And she started forgetting.
Dementia. Yeah, my grandfather did as well.
Like, right? She
Stop
didn't
trying
know
to
what
relate to
reality
him.
was,
He doesn't like
right,
you
sometimes.
because you
Yeah.
were a jackass
Right?
to
There was
him.
times she had to take her medication.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't go into her and be like, oh yeah, you're right in your reality. You don't have to take your medication. You already took it. No, I'm going to use that information that I have, right? That stuff that I may even be a step above. Maybe they aren't able to perceive reality in the same way I am. And I'm gonna do it either way.
But without
right?
provoking emotion, and I genuinely don't want to, because again, like I said, my grandfather also had dementia. When your grandmother would become confused, would you like try and gently correct, or would you go, no, that's against material reality. I'm not gonna lower myself to where you are, just to you would approach them at the level of conversation, right?
I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore. I can't fucking do this anymore. It is so embarrassing. I have to figure out how I'm going to reach out to Skylar and apologize for this shit. Okay. Hold on. Excuse me. Alright. Well, we're gonna record this right now. And I'm probably gonna close the stream down because this is just fucking sad. Okay. So, I'm just gonna record the bit. And we're gonna put it at the front of the video. Oh wait, I should probably press fucking record, shouldn't I? Start recording. Hello, I'm the Big JC. I used to go by Lefty Jesus. And there's a reason for that. As you'll see as you watch through this debate. This debate encapsulates some of the worst rhetoric that I've ever engaged in. Some of the least effective debating. Some of the least prepared arguments, some of the just overall worst debating that I myself have experienced. Yeah, it's very embarrassing. And I was going over this on my live stream, and I was debating about taking it down. And I've decided to leave it up. First of all, as a lesson for myself, of where I started, I think it's valuable for me to recognize the growth that I've made since the point that I was at when this catastrophe happened. So that's number one. And number two, as a warning. I want this to be a warning to anybody who thinks that just because they've watched some Vosh videos, they can hop into the debate sphere, and come across as just as, you know, witty and intelligent or whatever as he seems to. Trust me, you can't. You need to... Vosh is different. You need to do work. You need to make sure that your arguments are well researched. You need to make sure that you're meeting your debate interlocutor at the level of the conversation, and you need to make sure that you're putting in the work to find good opponents in the first place. This debate is embarrassing to the point that I had to turn it off on stream. So with that in mind, here is my first ever debate featuring myself versus Skylar Fiction on the issue of transgendered inclusion in sports. Alright, there you go, fuckers. Alright. Anyways, yeah, I'm probably gonna call it there for stream. Tyler is cringing at Dota. Oh, they changed the politics of it back. Thank God. Oh, God. I don't really want to, drag any of that in. I just want to chill. Maybe smoke. I don't know. Wonder if Wick is still streaming. Oh, nope. His stream is down. What called in there? Well, hi Wick. Hope you're doing all right. Anyways, yeah. God, I was really disappointed with how bad that went. The debate with Raptor went a lot better. I would probably still stand by a lot of that, but Jesus Christ. When was that? Like August 16th, 2023. Brain damage suffered is the description. What an arrogant asshole I was, genuinely. It's so embarrassing. I'm gonna have to, like, get the content down somehow. I don't know. I'm not gonna fuck around with that right now. Well, in that case, if I'm genuinely calling the stream there, seeing as there are no takers for the open challenge, well, I guess I haven't technically checked Twitter, but like, yeah. With that in mind, everybody remember, Jesus loves you.